The head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Welcome to the Big Charleston contest. The year is 1940... I'm sorry, what was that?
That's not us.
Oh. Tonight's episode will feature It's a Wonderful Life by Frank Capra.
Who gave Tyler the copy?
No.
Check your inbox.
Oh, I see. Welcome once again to The Head, the Tail, the Whole Damn Thing, with industry professionals Mike D. McCarty and James Knight. Today's episode will feature Child's Play and Companion, a mix-em-up, mash-em-up of science fiction and sci-fantasy. Well, more like supernatural? I'm not sure what category. All right, fellas, take it away.
What am I reading right now? Because I
ain't got time to read.
I ain't got time to read.
I do occasionally read physical copies, but right now I'm going through, because we're going to review The Monkey soon, so I'm going through Stephen King's Skeleton Crew.
Oh, okay. So you do audiobooks?
I do audiobooks, yeah. I have the Stephen King Skeleton Crew that I'm currently listening to, about halfway through it. Already got past The Monkey, which is an interesting story.
Okay.
Should make a fun movie. I hear it's pretty different from the movie.
Okay.
Which is probably how you want. And it looks like Patreon folks are saying we should review it with monkey shines.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Monkey Shines is
I mean, do the Patreon folks know that the monkey is not a real monkey and Monkey Shines is about a real monkey? They're not the same story? It's not like a remake?
They both have monkey in it, so I think it counts.
Yeah.
You know what? It's like that time Patreon told us that we should do Oddity and Leprechaun together.
Well, they weren't
they're
wrong.
Both Irish. Yeah. It's a great episode.
It was a great episode. But tonight, I'm Mike D. McCarty, and the D does not stand for doll.
And I'm James Knight. And I'm all dolled up. Not really.
Nice.
Although I am wearing a Frog Brothers Vampire Hunters t-shirt.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's great. Where'd you get that?
Truth, justice, and the American way. Yeah. Actually, some friends of mine who listened to the Lost Boys Nosferatu episode gave me this for my birthday.
Where's Nosferatu? Who? Prince of Darkness. Nightcrawler, the Bloodsucker. El Vampiro.
El Vampiro.
They're here!
El Vampiro. Yeah, the Frog Brothers.
So a friend of yours / listener listened to the Lost Boys Nosferatu episode and bought you that shirt? That's awesome.
Yeah, that's right.
Fuck yeah.
It's working, Mike.
Yeah.
It's working. All the gifts are starting to pour in.
All the gifts. You mean the one?
That's right. Pretty soon people are going to be like, did he say he crashed his Dodge Challenger?
Yeah.
We're just going to have to get him a new one.
I mean, he's obviously a jackass and needs to drive a jackass car, right? I think Dodge Challenger comes with Oakleys that are matching color.
Staring people down at the stoplight.
Oh, yeah. Blah, 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 blah. That's the sound of a 5.7 liter Hemi.
Does it need to be that loud?
Oh, shut up, lady. Move your Prius out of the way.
This baby gets a sweet 13 miles to the gallon.
That's right. Gasoline.
Just walk away, Karen. Just walk away.
You want to get the gas out of the Challenger. What a puny plan.
Well, Ayatollah of rock and roller. What movies are we talking about today?
Tonight, our double feature is Child's Play from 1988 and Companion, which just came out recently, which is good. And we chose them because they're both companion films.
That's right. Companions. What could go wrong?
Do you got a little opening starter kit for Child's Play for us?
For Child's Play? Well, let me just take it out of the package here. Parents help you put it together. Child's Play, 1988, directed by Tom Holland. Nope, not Spider-Man Tom Holland. I'm not even sure he was born in 1988. This is director Tom Holland, starring Catherine Hicks, Chris Sarandon, Brad Dourif, and Alex Vincent as the Beaver. Andy. Evil dummies and creepy dolls have been a staple of horror even before Talkie Tina hit the Twilight Zone in 1963. Since then, TV and movies have seen their share, Annabelle, Billy, Corky, Slappy, Megan, the list goes on and on.
Slappy.
In 1988, we got Child's Play and introduced the world to Chucky. Created in part due to the success and unintentional creep factor of the My Buddy doll for boys and its catchy fucking jingle, Chucky would go on to spawn numerous sequels, a remake, and a television series that I hear ain't too bad, actually.
I heard that too.
But it all started here, on the mean streets of Chicago, when Charles Lee Ray, also known as the Lakeshore Strangler, flees from the cops into a nearby toy store. Wounded and cornered, he turns to a wall of creepy-ass My Buddies, good guy dolls, and uses the only resource he has left. Voodoo. Yeah, you can almost hear the producer's voice. How about voodoo? That seems scary. Voodoo. Don't leave home without it. Now, how this shaggy white dude is versed enough in arcane Haitian rituals to conjure a spirit storm and stick his soul into a good guy doll is left for you to wonder at that moment. But he goes does that voodoos that he does so well, and a slasher superstar is born.
Indeed.
Child's Play heats up when Chucky is given as a gift to 6-year-old Andy, and the serial killer turns the Cabbage Patch into a bloodbath, wreaking his vengeance on the friends that abandoned him, the cops that brought him down, and the family that only wanted a friend to the end. Child's Play. You'll wish it's only make-believe.
Nice.
Mike.
Nice. Yes.
What do you think? 80s horror icon, born, slasher, classic, Child's Play.
Sure. I'll tell you, I saw this in the theater. I saw it with my roommates at the time. We all went.
Back in the Kalamazoo days you're talking about then.
Yeah, I think so. So we're out there. We go out to see Child's Play. I'm excited. I'm a horror fan. I want to see. Looks cool. Looks creepy. You know. So we all go to the movie theater. We sit down. We watch the movie. I'm fucking eating it up. I'm like, this movie's fucking great. At the end of the movie, I'm like, yeah. I look over at my roommates and I go, that was cool. And they go, you are fucking stupid. And I was like, what? And they're like, that movie was dumb as shit. And I was like, fuck you, it wasn't dumb as shit. And we got into an argument. And you know what? I watched that movie the other day. I still fucking like it.
Oh, you're fucking stupid.
No, this movie is fun.
Oh,
it's
man.
Fun. It's classic.
Oh, it's terrible.
And it gives birth to a horror icon.
Well, that's true. That's true.
This movie's fun. Come on.
So I remember the trailers for this. Now, 88, I'm 11 when this movie comes out. And so I think I'm pretty susceptible to creepy toys, creepy dolls. Actually, I've always been a little bit susceptible to that. I don't know if you remember when I was real little, I didn't like statues. Like, my dad had to throw a couple statues away because I was having nightmares about them. I didn't like mannequins. I was actually afraid of Mrs. Butterworth when I was a little kid. You remember those commercials where, like, Mrs. Butterworth would just come to life at the breakfast table?
Oh, yeah.
The kids are all just enjoying their waffles or pancakes or whatever. And she's like, oh, syrupy delicious. That's a fucking nightmare.
You know who's afraid of Mrs. Butterworth now? Your A1C.
So I didn't like any of that stuff. And I remember watching this as a kid, legitimately thought that this movie was scary.
Yeah.
And having watched it again, I can't believe I ever thought this movie was fucking scary. It has not aged well, I don't think.
I'm not saying... Well, there's one line that hasn't aged well. We'll get to that later. I don't think it's scary either. I just think it's fun.
It is fun. It has some really neat effects in it, which I know we'll get into, especially in regards to the stunt double they had to use for Chucky. I think there's some cool stuff going on there. I think the puppet that they use is
Kevin
really...
Yahger, fucking mechanical genius on this.
Really cool puppet. But there is just so much about this movie that I find laughable nowadays. But let's break it down. Let's
Okay.
get into some of the
Sure,
nitty and
sure.
gritty.
I like it.
One.
You don't like it. Your dad's going to like the episode. Let's go. Wait, before we get started, you know who else doesn't like this movie?
Who's that?
Gene Siskel. Titan of the
Gene
industry.
Siskel doesn't like this one.
So you're in really good company.
Titan of the industry.
He thought it was laughable and silly.
It is laughable and silly, but I thought that was maybe what gave it points for you.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I'm not calling it laughable and silly. I'm enjoying the ride that is Child's Play. Chucky is a fun character. Brad Dourif is fucking amazing.
Brad Dourif is
Anything
always
with Brad
amazing.
Dourif in
Yep.
it just ups the ante, making it a cooler movie.
He
right?
is one of those actors that makes every project he's in a little bit better.
Absolutely. And he wasn't originally going to be the voice. He was always going to play Charles Lee Ray.
Oh, really?
Who, of course, is Charles Manson, Lee Harvey Oswald,
Yes.
and
James Earl Ray.
Yeah. That's how they came up with the name. Duh. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the original script that Don Mancini wrote was called Blood Buddies. Did you know this?
Oh, I didn't, but there you go to the My Buddy reference right there, too.
Exactly. And it was, I think, partially because of that.
Oh,
so he wanted to write.
absolutely was.
Yeah, he wanted to write a satire about children's marketing and children's toys and all that kind of shit. So he started into the Blood Buddy thing. And the original script, the mom was the CEO of a company that had created this doll that was the My Buddy kind of doll. And what it was is the doll had some like blood-like stuff inside of it. So it would teach kids how to be careful with their buddy, because if you injured the doll, it was a chance it was going to bleed.
Oh, my God.
So the kid, who's a little off his rocker a touch, he does a blood ritual with himself, like cutting his hand and cutting his buddy's hand, the doll, and they put their hands together, and the kid's id and his anger gets sort of transfused into the doll.
Wow.
And for like three-quarters or at least half of the script, the whole idea was you're not sure if the kid's murdering people or if it's the doll. So it ends up being this sort of like, did he or did he not do it? And I mean, that's a pretty interesting concept. It's a little wahoo and a little out there, but it's a pretty interesting and cool
As opposed to I used voodoo to put my spirit into my buddy and go
which
on
makes
a rampage.
which makes total sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Voodoo. Got it.
Listen, everyone's afraid of voodoo these days, right?
I need a bottle of rum and a live chicken. Sure.
I was down in New Orleans the other day.
I think that actually sounds like a pretty interesting idea for the movie.
It does sound like an
actually.
interesting idea. And the mother was the CEO of the company, and it was like the first prototype doll that was with her son, and so on and so forth. And then Kirshner came along and ended up picking up the script, and they wanted a bunch of changes. And they ended up adding the Charles Lee Ray part and adding voodoo, because everyone's afraid of voodoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the birth of Chucky. And this has been a Hollywood Minute about dolls.
So was Brad Dourif not supposed to do like the voice of Chucky and all that kind of stuff too?
Originally, they had Jessica Walters do the voice. Now, there's this guy, John Franklin, who did the voice, did the looping of the voice, all the dialogue for the on-set stuff, because they practiced the shit out of getting the mouth to match up what it was doing.
I saw some
they
behind-the-scenes
already
stuff where
they
they were
had all
really
this recorded
meticulous about
stuff that John Franklin had recorded. And they did all that on set, and then they were going to change it to Jessica Walter, and she was famous for, she was the psychotic killer in that Clint Eastwood movie, Play Misty for Me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jessica Walters was going to do the voice.
Yeah.
But then...
So they actually, they shot it like that. She did voiceover for the whole fucking movie.
Wow.
And they did it for test audiences. And test audiences thought it was laughable. And it didn't work. And they had already planned on Brad Dourif being the character of Charles Lee Ray. And all that stuff was still in the movie. He just wasn't doing the voice of the doll.
Huh, well, how...
Because if you know, the first time you hear the doll, it's like, I'm Chucky, I'll be your friend to the end. That's not Brad Dourif.
Oh, no, so they used that kid's toy voice throughout
Exactly.
the whole thing.
Which is why they hired Jessica to voice the whole thing.
I get it.
Yeah, but
I
test
get it
audiences,
now.
they call bullshit on that. They didn't like
Yeah,
it.
totally.
Yeah.
It works much better when all of a sudden it's like snarling Brad Dourif, like, you fucking bitch, you should have left Wallanoff alone.
Yeah, which is good. I love
Yeah.
when Chucky does that. That's fun.
And his face gets all twisted and stuff. Yeah, it's
Totally.
great.
That's part of the charm of the character throughout, like, 6 sequels and a TV show and so many different things now?
My gosh.
Yeah. Well done, Brad. So, she did the original voice, and test audiences didn't like it, so they went to Brad, who was super fucking busy. He was in everything. They had to work around his schedule for Mississippi Burning to get him to shoot stuff. And then he was shooting he was doing Spontaneous Combustion, which is not really a good movie, but he was doing that around the time that they wanted to do all the voiceover stuff. But they were able to finally get him in to record it and fix it. And that's how Chucky has his voice today. I just like playing that. This has been a Hollywood voiceover minute.
It's a good choice, though. I mean, it really is a
great.
solid choice, and it's good for that character. And it's good to remind you, I think, where the character started and who it was. If it had just been a goofy voice of the doll the whole time, you might have lost that thread a little bit.
Totally.
And it will go some wacky places here.
Oh, it does.
So it's good
Go
to
ahead.
have a callback.
Tell us what you didn't like.
Well, so Charles Lee Ray gets wounded. He's on the run from the cops, goes into the toy store, puts his soul in the good guy doll using a voodoo ritual. There's an explosion, and then we cut to the next morning in a very, very, very nice apartment. Now, Catherine Hicks, who plays the mom, works behind the jewelry counter at a Nordstrom's or something.
Yeah.
But obviously when her husband died, she came into a little bit of cash because she and Andy are living large in their top floor corner apartment in a beautiful part of Chicago there.
Not enough cash to afford a nanny or a good guy doll.
I guess. It's Andy's birthday. He makes mom breakfast in bed.
And he fucking destroys that kitchen, that little son of a bitch.
He's the cereal splashing everywhere, burnt toast with a giant dollop of country crock on top. Oh, and he catches the commercial or like the TV show for the good guy dolls in that little bit. And did you see that giant, horrifying good guy doll?
Oh, yeah, like the mascot costume? You know who was inside that mascot costume?
Who was inside it?
Listen, Frank, what we need is... No. The guy that did the original voiceover for Chucky, John Franklin. He was inside that big costume.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, man. It's nightmare fuel. Like, if I had, like, this 6-year-old, he's all into it, but, like, one look at that thing is terrifying.
It is
absolutely terrifying. But he goes in, wakes up his mom. Hey, get up, Mom, it's time. Can I open my birthday presents now? Like, sure. And she has, I mean, fuck you, Mom. She's got...
Not you, Mom.
She's got a box the size of a good guy doll box, and it's all wrapped up. And he instantly, as he's bringing in the breakfast to his mom, he sees the present, and he gets a little 6-year-old twinkle in his eye. Alex Vincent, who plays a little boy, really 6 years old, and there are times in this movie where he is fantastic in this. But he gets a little twinkle in his eye, and then when he goes to open it up, his mom's like, oh, you really needed these pants. These clothes will be great. They'll fit
clothes.
you.
It's like a pair of pants in a giant fucking box.
Why did you wrap it like that? You bitch. You are a monster. Mom is the real monster in Child's Play.
Again, not you, Mom.
Oh, I got a disappointed kid. He didn't get the good guy doll he wanted. She didn't know. She didn't have enough time to save up for it. And she goes to work. Again, it's like Gordon's or Nordstrom. I think it's called Gordon's, but it's some sort of like high-end department store. And her friend comes up to her behind the counter and it's like, hey, does Andy still want that doll, that good guy doll for his birthday? And she's like, yeah. Like, well, there's some guy out in the back alley selling them right now. You got to come. What? So they run out to the alley and they find some, she says, like a peddler. There's a peddler out back.
Yeah. They keep referring to that guy as a peddler.
I know.
He is a fucking hobo.
Yes.
With a shopping cart, pushing a bunch of garbage around that he stole from someplace. He's got teeth that look like he's been chewing on bark and fucking tobacco.
He's got a bit of meth mouth, but she's not going to let that deter her.
No.
Because he's got a good guy doll. Hey, lady, you know, how much? Like, I think he wants like $40. Like, okay, I'll fork it over.
Yeah.
And then they say something to him like, it's not stolen, is it? And I'm like, you fucking dealing with a hobo in the back of an alley with like unopened merchandise, or like, of course it's stolen, lady. Steal this, I think he says as he goes off.
Yeah, he does. And then her friend, Aunt Maggie, very New Yorkish. She's like grabbing her crotch and she's like, yeah, you steal this.
Interesting casting, because she is very New Yorky, but this takes place in Chicago, and some might think that those two things are interchangeable, but Aunt Maggie definitely has some like Flatbush in her or something.
Oh yeah, she does.
They get back to the desk, and Mom, the mom's played by Catherine Hicks, who does a really nice job in this too, I think. Because you got to commit in this. This is a movie you got to commit. Not all the actors do, and I'll get to you in a second, Chris Sarandon. But Catherine Hicks, pretty fucking good in this. And the boss is not happy. Well, where have you been? You know, he's a real tightwad, stick up his ass, bow tie and glasses.
Oh, yeah, pink bow tie. His
Yeah.
name is Walter Criswell.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I want to say he's named after a guy, John Criswell, I know, who's a mechanic in this business. He's a genius mechanic, works at Henson's, actually.
Oh, really?
He may have worked on the original Child's Play.
Well, again, the puppet is great.
Yeah.
The puppet is fantastic in it. And he says, you're going to have to work late tonight. She's like, I got a kid. And he's like completely remorseless. Doesn't matter. Do you like your job here? Or he says something like that. Shit. So Maggie's like, I'll watch your kid. I'll go. So Mom stops home. She gives Andy the good guy doll. Hey, it's not clothes. Yay. Kid's all happy.
Little ungrateful son of a bitch.
Chucky starts talking to him. I'll be your friend to the end. And Mom's got to go back to work, so Aunt Maggie comes to watch Andy that night, and you hear little bits on the news like, Eddie Caputo, accomplice of Charles Lee Ray, escaped police custody.
Yeah. Chucky's head slowly turns towards the TV.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Because he wants his revenge.
Chucky wants to watch the 9 o'clock news.
That's a terrible Chucky voice.
Well, it's not Chucky, it's the kid. It's Andy who says,
Chucky.
like pretty much.
All right,
every time.
I'll give you an Andy voice. Fine. That's fine.
I'm no Jessica Walter or John Franklin or Brad Dourif for that matter.
Yeah. The many voices of Chucky. Rated R.
But we're going to get Chucky's first kill coming up here in just a little bit as Andy's got to go to bed. Now, I mean, not only does he make breakfast like a fucking maniac, but he brushes his teeth like an insane person, too. So later on, when they lock him up in the psych ward, I kind of understand that this kid is a menace.
Yeah.
But
true.
No, Chucky can't watch the news. You got to go to bed. And then Maggie is reading a book or something in the other room, and the TV comes on, and Chucky's sitting out there watching the news.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, God damn it, if that little boy didn't turn on the TV and put his doll in front of it. Now, let's say he did. Why get mad at him for that?
Yeah, as mad as she does.
Yeah, and then he goes back to bed?
Yeah, listen here, mister. Yeah, exactly. And it's
She's
the
all
news.
pissed off. Yeah.
It's not like,
Chucky wants to watch Cinemax.
you know?
Exactly. It's not glistening breasts on the screen.
Yeah.
It's Channel Team Action News.
And then she goes back to reading her book or whatever and starts to hear things. Oh, what could that be? I think we might get a little POV shot, Chucky level on the floor.
Little pitter-patter feet.
Something flashes across the background through the hallway. Oh. And she starts noticing this stuff in the house that should set her on a bit higher of an alert than it really does.
Sure.
Because she goes out into the hallway and there's like a chair has been pushed in front of the door that certainly wasn't there before.
Yeah.
And then there's flour spilled all over the kitchen. But she's taking it in stride. The phone rings. Jump scare. But it's just Mom checking in. Oh, how's Andy doing? Oh, he's fine. I just got some late night heebie-jeebies. But seriously, if furniture had moved, you're already in like arm yourself territory. Like, what the
I'm
fuck's
not
going
saying
on?
that the characters are smart.
I will say that they're dumb. I won't say that.
Sure. I'll give you that.
So then, while she's doing that, you see little Chucky hand pick up a good guy's hammer. I guess a real metal hammer. Like, you know, the company that made Good Guys, they weren't messing around.
They were not messing around at all. Yeah, small.
That's not a Nerf hammer.
That's a claw hammer.
Classic hammer. That is a cast iron or a die cast claw hammer. And smacks her in the face with a hammer. She turns around. You don't see him. You just see, I think, the hammer come down. Bam. And then maybe she'd already had like 3 fuzzy navels or something that night. It being 1988. But she takes like 7 steps backwards and crashes through the window. Yeah. Good stunt.
Yeah.
There's some good stunts in this movie.
Yeah. I like the I'm face forward, I'm face forward, I'm face forward, and roll to your back for the landing.
Yeah. Right into a Ford Ranger that's parked 7 stories below or something.
Yeah, some kind of camper pickup truck.
Good little bit there.
Well, pretty sure she went into a bunch of boxes, and then they did like a 10-foot drop to a fucking roof.
They really killed that woman for this movie. The hardest part was finding someone whose name was really Aunt Maggie, but they were insisted on realism.
This has been the Death of Aunt Maggie, Hollywood Minute.
So when Mom gets home, holy shit. What's happened outside? She runs upstairs. The cops are in the apartment. And this is when we meet. Actually, he was in the very beginning of the movie gunning down Charles Lee Ray, but it's Chris Sarandon as Detective Mike Norris.
Yeah.
Or, as I will refer to him, I guess, Detective Argyle Sweater Vest. Because as far as police detectives go, this is the preppiest motherfucker I have seen in a movie, maybe ever.
Yeah. You know, there was a deleted scene where he's actually, because Charles Lee Ray is the, what was his serial killer name? The something strangler?
The Lakeshore Strangler.
The Lakeshore Strangler. So Charles Lee Ray is the Lakeshore Strangler. And in the beginning of the original cut of the movie, Charles Lee Ray is stalking a woman.
Okay.
Like he's going to kill her. And it turns out to be a little Nighthawks moment. It's actually Chris Sarandon dressed as a woman.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and they have a little tussle, and Charles Lee Ray takes running off down the street, and that's the moment where they use the clip that's in the movie now. You see Chris Sarandon throw like a coat off to the side, like, why are you getting rid of your coat? He's throwing away his dress. This guy's.
Oh, man.
That's still in the cut of the movie, so there you go. You can watch it at home and see.
No, I didn't notice that. I do notice that when he's in the toy store earlier, he like bites the fingers and takes the gloves off his hands.
I mean, that's how you do it.
So sure. Yeah. Those isotoners, those are supple lambskin gloves.
Those are not gloves for cold Chicago weather either.
That's interesting. Maybe that's what made him just so disaffected throughout the rest of this movie, because there are times in this movie where Chris Sarandon just looks like he's thinking about last night's episode of Law & Order. Like,
or when can I go to the warming tent?
Oh my gosh. I swear there are some moments I thought, that's a cut. Edit. Why are you leaving it on Chris Sarandon just vapidly, vacantly not doing anything right now?
And Chris Sarandon, you know, he was buddies with Tom Holland because they had worked together on Fright Night. You know, Chris Sarandon plays the vampire in Fright Night. Yeah. Tom Holland directed Fright Night, which was his first directorial movie, actually.
Really?
And Tom Holland, I don't know if you know this, he was an actor, actually, for a lot of years, even as a young guy in like the 60s and the 70s.
I didn't know that.
The very first thing he wrote, actually, that was turned into a film was 1982's The Beast Within.
Oh, no shit. Oh, great. Wow.
So, yeah, Tom Holland been around for a while, and he did this, you know, a Fright Night with Chris Sarandon, and that's why he wanted to hire him for this.
Tom Holland also is, every once in a while in the house, you see the photo of Dad in the background. That's
is
Tom
the Dad?
Holland.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Dead Dad.
He's in this movie, too. No, but she gets sort of interrogated a little bit by Detective Khaki Pants. He's like, hey, you know what's going on here? He's talking to Andy, and Andy doesn't know what's going on, but Aunt Maggie had an accident. And she finds out her friend is taking the fall out the window. And then they notice the footprints in the flour.
Yeah. Like they just noticed them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, I'm not saying this movie's brilliant, and it doesn't point at like, this is some really good detective work. Because you've got all these cops wandering around the apartment, and then, nobody's measuring the footprints.
No, nothing. There's none of those little cards that they put out in a crime scene.
Yeah. But he does say, I checked your son's closet, and I didn't see any shoe prints that match that. I didn't check what your son was wearing, is what he should have said.
Yeah.
So, okay. Maybe not the greatest detective.
No, there'll be some other things, too, in this movie where she'll be like, the killer's address, what is it? And he'll be like, we lived at 708 Stony Side down in Cabrini Green, but I wouldn't go there if I were you. Yeah. It's like, why did you give her the address then?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a few times where maybe the writing is a bit thin when it comes to the detective work.
And also, these detectives get scared off by this mom. First of all, this lady was killed, right?
Oh, yes, they do shoot out.
You think you've got the murder weapon. He hides it in his pocket, right? In a big giant Ziploc bag that he probably just pulled out of her drawer. Right? Like a 1-gallon freezer bag. Let me just grab this
right.
and I'll just put this hammer in there.
Do you have a Sharpie? I can label this as murder weapon. What's today's date, Frank?
Voodoo. And then he starts to question the boy. Oh, what do you got on your feet there? Let me see. Can I see that? First of all, those footprints or those things he's wearing are like 3 inches bigger than the actual footprints on the fucking countertop.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh, what's this? And then she gets mad and fucking shuts them down, kicks them all out of the apartment. They haven't even finished the investigation. and she's kicking them all out. And they just like, okay.
I guess that's all that's here. Yeah. No more clues to be found.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's even leaving in the elevator with Detective Handlebars, right? The guy with the mustache who looks like he just got transferred from Vice 2 weeks ago, but he doesn't want to get rid of the mustache quite yet.
He's holding on to it.
Yeah. And he holds up the Ziploc bag with the hammer in it. Hey, what's that? It's like potential murder weapon. As he lights up a cigarette, all of a sudden he's fucking hard-boiled and knows what he's doing now. Like,
yeah.
Oh, you're kidding me. No, take it into the lab. So and then you get that little shot of Andy talking with Chucky. Chucky's whispering a lot. Andy's just leaning in, and you see a little slow zoom in on the soles of Chucky's shoes where you see the flower.
Yeah.
Like you didn't know it was Chucky.
Like you didn't know.
Yeah. So the next morning,
Brilliant writing.
Mom is taking Andy to school, and she's like, oh, I think this is after Andy says Aunt Maggie was a bitch who got what she deserved.
Yeah.
Because that's what Chucky said. Easy, Chucky.
I love the way he says it, too. He's just so timid about it.
Yeah.
Aunt Maggie was a bitch and got what she deserved. Now, at that point, if you're the mom, you can be freaking the fuck out.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
You gotta be like, my son just killed my best friend.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm gonna send him to school tomorrow morning anyway.
Sure. Nothing a little social studies homework can't cure.
Yeah. Take your doll. Let's go to school.
We'll be learning about the tens place today. That should clear out any homicidal instincts he's got. Yeah, so she drops him off at school and leaves, and then he's got Chucky with him. And then instantly he just sneaks out of school, which, as a parent now, I gotta tell you, it was a different time. Because we probably didn't bat an eye at that in 1988. But you know how hard it would be for a kid to just wait for their mom to leave and then just walk out the front.
Turn around,
6-year-old,
out.
A 6-year-old kid who will then be on the L train by himself.
Don't you have to pay to get on the train?
He probably slipped right under the turnstile.
I mean,
we can wave our hands at that one.
Maybe Chucky pushed it forward.
Yeah, but Chucky knows where Eddie Caputo, who has recently escaped police custody, is staying in a rat-infested apartment building in, I don't know, Cabrini Green or something. It's like some real rough-looking neighborhood there. And then Andy takes him all the way there, and he's like,
I got to tinkle. Just wait right here, Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
Leaves him on the rocking chair and goes to tinkle, and Chucky is out. We just get a little point of view, Chucky running up the stairs into the house.
Yeah, probably. Isn't there like a shot of Ed Gale, too? There's lots of shots of Ed Gale, who's the little person stunt guy that played Chucky.
Yeah.
And you know, we're probably going to get into it at the end, but I can just mention now, anytime they use him, they're using oversized sets that are 30% bigger. And that is fucking cool.
It is great. Yeah, I saw the interview with him. He's like, I'm 33% bigger than that Chucky doll, which meant they had to make every set piece 33% bigger to
Light
scale.
switches, doorknobs, corners of couches, chairs.
And it just is proof positive, once again, that no matter how perceptibly bad or stupid a movie might be, there is often a crew. No. Yes, Mark Wahlberg. There is often a crew behind it doing some really cool shit. Because that is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And watching this movie twice in the last couple of days, the second time I knew that was true, and I still really couldn't pick it out. You know, I can pick out when it's Ed Gale because he's a lot more mobile than the puppet. So
he hits the floor and he rolls, or he jumps up and runs. Or
absolutely. Mm-hmm. But it's quick takes.
Yeah.
And I still can't tell. You know, it's really well executed. I thought that was a cool part of this movie, for sure.
I'm selling you on this movie.
No, listen. There can be lots of good things about it. It's still kind of a terrible movie.
What? No.
Yes, Mark Wahlberg. But Chucky will execute kind of a complicated little plan here where he blows out the pilot light on the gas stove and then essentially tricks the guy. People love to just blast away in movies, you know, with the gun. They just whip around a corner and squeeze off a couple rounds.
Yeah.
And he whips around a corner and shoots into the kitchen with the gas leak and good explosion.
Yeah, that's a Hollywood explosion.
Oh, it sure is.
For sure. How did that kid not get killed?
I don't know, because he's outside like, Chucky, where's Chucky?
Yeah.
Chucky?
Obviously, the kid's nowhere near the explosion because they can't have, a 6-year-old near an explosion like that, unfortunately. Rules, whatever.
Union schmunion.
Yeah. Come on. Frank, how old is the kid?
So, the kid is unharmed, obviously, but then guess what? Mom has to go back to the police station, and now the police are like, your kid has got a problem, ma'am.
Yeah. We've been interviewing him with no adult present.
Yeah.
I don't think that's legal, but all right.
Yeah, Detective Guy Cardigan is there once again.
Yeah.
He's just giving him the third degree. Hey, Andy.
Along with his partner, Serpico.
Yeah. So Detective Braidbelt is there, and he is watching Andy as he's trying to say, like, no, it was Chucky. Tell him, Chucky. Speak, Chucky. Tell him. And Chucky's not doing anything. And then Andy gives him a little, like, bad cop. You know what I mean? He's like, talk. I mean, basically, he's like, talk, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Punches him in the stomach. Like, Andy's getting pissed now.
Is.
You're going to confess. Yeah. That's one moment where I wish Chris Sarandon had seen the kid giving the doll the business and been like, oh, that's right. Maybe this kid should be on the force. But no, Chucky sells him up the river, doesn't talk.
Yeah.
And then I think the doctor, played by Jack Colvin.
Yeah, he goes, I've seen enough.
Yeah, your son's going to the psych ward.
We're just going to keep him here for a couple of days.
Jack Colvin, who was the reporter on The Incredible Hulk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Forgot about that. That's an old TV show for those of you who don't know. There was also many iterations of the movie prior to the Marvel Universe. I mean, it's all part of the Marvel Universe, but you know what I'm trying to say.
This is back in the Lou Ferrigno days.
Yeah.
So, Andy's got to go to the psych ward. Mom is distraught. She takes Chucky home. Oh, Chucky, what have you done? What's going on? And then she notices on the good guy box something that never, ever, 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 ever happens with toys.
Yeah.
that the batteries are included.
Yeah. If they're included, they're inside of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Chucky has just spoke to her because she's like, talk, you son of a bitch. And he's like, I'll be your friend to the end.
Yeah. Typical
then-
Chucky.
Uh-oh, no batteries. So she goes there and she opens up the back of Chucky's shirt and
His battery
pulls
box.
his pants down a little bit and
Yeah. Little
slides
pants
a
down
finger in
Chucky.
his box.
When's the last time you had a little pants down Chucky with a finger in your box? Your battery box. Check my battery box. It's feeling a little empty.
Be your friend to the end.
This is a good moment. This is a great
It is.
reveal with the head whipping around. And
It is a great reveal.
The
Nope,
only
this-
problem with that is it should have been Brad Dourif's voice at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's still playing the doll. So it's still that cute little doll voice.
Yeah. Ah, she freaks out because it talks, no batteries. She just drops it and it rolls under the couch.
Yeah. Little Ed Gale under a 33% bigger couch.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
She digs it out. What's going on? Talk, 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 you son of a bitch. And then she's like, if you want to talk, I'll make you talk. And then she's
going
gonna
bad cop on him.
She is. She's going to light the fireplace. Go, Mom. A
Yeah.
fireplace in this, like, 7th floor Chicago apartment. Have we mentioned that this is a nice apartment?
And she couldn't afford a good guy doll?
Yeah, exactly. What?
She works at an apartment store for a douchebag? Yeah.
Well, Chucky doesn't like it when the fireplace starts. You bitch, you should have left alone. And this, I think, is the first time we get the malleable, angry Chucky face, right?
Yeah. So the idea
good stuff.
behind these Chuckies is that it is a plastic doll up until this point because he is slowly becoming more human and he's hiding the fact that he is still a plastic doll. But as he's becoming more human, his face is actually changing. There's multiple sculptures, multiple stages of how Chucky looks as he goes through.
Yeah, and this is cool, and to see that friendly little plastic face warp into this, it's a good nasty little puppet face they got going on. He bites her on the arm
Absolutely, yeah.
with his plastic teeth and runs out of the apartment as fast as his little puppet legs can take him, and she can't catch up to him on the street. Oh, what happened to Chucky? No. So she goes back to the police, back to Detective Press Button Down, and she's like, it's true. Chucky was alive. He was speaking without the batteries. And he looks at her like, lady, you're crazy. Get out of here. And she's almost hysterical, but he won't believe her.
Yeah. She goes, I bought it from a peddler, and I'm going to go find him. And he's like, lady, that's a bad area.
Yeah, lady, this is a bad area. But again, it was like a Macy's she worked at. Like, how rough could it be? Like, you're going down to Fifth Avenue at this time of night, you crazy lady? Like,
Macy's isn't open.
Yeah. Gimbals at midnight, you're going to be killed.
You be careful around the Kohl's.
Yeah, she goes, and it's like bum town. There's just a bunch of homeless people around, and it's like a bum parade. I think it's just a montage.
It is.
Of one.
It's just a
bum
montage of
after another.
dirty faces.
And she's like,
That's all it
she's
is.
pointing at her teeth. Like,
Yeah, she's
"He had fucked up-"
pantomiming guy with
Like-
shopping cart and bad teeth,
Yeah.
which is great.
Except that's like 90% of the people
Yeah.
that are down there.
I know. But it's funny because like there's no dialogue there. I think it's music. And
Yeah.
It's like a montage as
It
she's
is.
going through. And she's just pantomiming, pushing a cart and pointing to her teeth. Like he's got a shopping cart and bad teeth. I just laughed out loud when that happened.
But she finds him and she's like, you sold me that doll. Where did you get it? And he's like, how much money you got? And she's like, I got that. He's like, that's not enough. I need a little more. And then she's like,
what else you got?
No, I don't have anything else.
You got something.
Oh. He starts to close in on her.
The peddler
and
gets a little handsy.
He does, but thank
The
goodness
peddler.
that Detective
Rated R.
Tim Pennyloafer is right there because he's knees the guy in the nuts, and then he whips out his gun like he's just about to murder all the homeless people.
Yeah.
Mayor says we need to clean up Skid Row.
Yeah. All of you, out of here.
Oh, he's going to kill all the bums, man.
He's giving him a who wants some.
And then we
Legitimately.
find out. That's when we find out. Yeah, I got the doll of some burned out toy store on Wabash.
That means
Oh my God.
you, doesn't it?
That's right. Dots are connecting here. Dots are connecting. So I think then he goes back to the station and then he gets back in his car, right? And then finally the Lakeshore Strangler tries to strangle someone. Yeah. I was like, that's how you got your name. He's got some jumper cables. Chucky's got him behind there. And, you know, Detective Plaid Scarfson could have hit the brakes on the car at any time. He could have stopped that car, but, like, being choked from behind, he just slams on the gas and smashes through a burning barrel.
This is a great car chase with only one car, by the way.
It sure is. Hey, again, good stunts.
Yeah.
Good stunts in this movie.
Good stunts, good explosions, good action. This is a $28 million movie, and it made like $50 million.
Yeah. Well done, Child's Play.
But they spent millions on the puppets, just so you know.
Well, the puppets are great. And
yeah.
So the car is going to flip over here, and then, you know, Chucky is going to attack him. And there's some scenes where the knife's coming up through the seat. And
oh, my God, that was so funny, by the way. Have you ever done that?
Wacky.
In a car?
Had somebody stab through the back of the seat, or been driving
you're
while
trying
somebody
to stay away from the blade?
To stab me in the junk.
Yeah. One time I was 20, and I was in my car. I smoked back then, and I stopped at a stoplight. There's a car in front of me. And, you know, sometimes when you're smoking, the cherry falls off the cigarette. Well, it was summer.
Oh,
and that cherry rolled up my shorts.
Oh, shit.
To the inside of my thigh.
Oh,
and
ouch.
I started hopping up and down on the seat like a mental patient, holding onto the wheel. I must have looked like an orangutan or something. And I'm hopping up and down on this. I took my foot off the brake.
Oh, boy.
And I'm jumping up and down on the seat like a fucking lunatic. And I just start pounding the car in front of me.
Oh, no.
At a stoplight because I have taken my foot off the brake, and the car is just, you know, a car will naturally move forward on its own.
Sure.
So at the stoplight, I'm like, bang, bang, bang. And I could just imagine them looking in the rearview mirror and seeing some guy jumping up and down on the seat of his car as he's hammering into them.
Oh, my God.
So I knock it out, right? I get my foot back on the brake. The car pulls over, and I just drive on. Come on, I was just hitting your bumper, Karen. That's what they're for.
Boy, somebody out there has a much different version of that story.
I know. I hope they end up being a listener. They'll be like, holy shit, that was him. I had whiplash for 7 years.
So when this car is flipped over, I saw a little behind the scenes that a lot of times for the puppeteers, they built all their sets on lifts, right?
Yeah, a lot of the sets were like 5 feet high.
Yeah, so that the puppeteers didn't have to crouch all day long getting the shot. They could just kind of duck a little bit and puppeteer him around. I thought that was pretty cool, too.
Very cool, yeah. You know, Howard Berger, who was the B of K&B, he was one of the puppeteers on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much of this design, you know, they had designed this, it seems like, with the puppet in mind, but also the puppeteers in mind, and how we're going to pull this off was like right from square one. They'd given a lot of thought to that.
They spent so much time figuring out how to do all this, and animatronics was pretty early in its stage at this point, right? And Kevin Yahger had worked on Nightmare 3, I think.
Dream Warriors?
Nightmare on Elm Street 3. And there's a mechanical Freddy head in there, and it was like one of the first mechanical heads that he had built, at least. It's cable controls, you know, it's like bike cables.
Because Chucky's cable controls, right?
And some of it was cable
some
control.
Of it, and some of it is, I don't even know what you call those.
Servos.
Pole, yeah, okay.
Rod puppets, servos. They had 9 different versions of Chucky that they used. Some of them were just half Chuckies. There was a full walking Chucky that's on a rig coming off of his back, and they've got puppeteers that are working servos for the legs to get the legs to step forward. There was rod puppet ones where you're controlling the arms, and they're just removing that stuff later, or they're hiding them. Yeah, just 9 different versions. Also, I love Terminator Chucky at the end. We haven't got there, but Terminator Chucky is my fucking favorite.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah, but the car scene's great. It's fun.
And then it ends with Detective Boat Shoes just blasting fucking Chucky. And I have to say, anytime that puppet gets shot and goes flying back, that's always satisfying.
It's solid.
That's always a good laugh.
100%.
Oh, shit. Now, He knows the truth. A fucking puppet tried to kill him. The mom's not crazy. And he had already given the address to her, I think, of where Charles Lee Ray had been. And so they go into his old apartment where there's this elaborate voodoo mural painted on the wall.
Yeah. It's very Candyman-esque.
It is.
Which was also Cabrini Green, Chicago style deep dish horror.
It is. And the mural is naked Brad Dourif doing some ritual.
Yeah.
Did you notice in the mural how big his dick was?
No, I didn't.
Seriously, it's like a baby's arm or something. It's crazy. And I could only imagine that when they came on set and if Brad Dourif ever saw that, he was like, who's painting this mural? Let me slip you in a couple extra $100.
Yeah.
See if you can make some adjustments here.
Let me tell you right now, you got one thing wrong, okay?
If you do watch it again, look at it, and it's like one of those things you won't be able to unsee. Like,
I'm going to watch it again. And I'm going to watch Child's Play 2. And I was like looking for a box set the other day, like on Apple TV. I was like, I wonder if I could buy all of them, because why not? I feel like maybe I want to catch up on the old Child's Play.
Jesus Christ.
I bet Tyler liked it.
Well, he likes anything from the 80s.
Tyler hates everything, though, too. He gets mad at us, saying that we're too nice when we're voting on things.
Look, we weren't nice to Wolf Man. And I'm not going to be nice to Child's Play either when we get down to it. So
you and Gene Siskel. Fine.
So, yeah, they know that Charles Lee Ray is into this voodoo stuff. Mm-hmm. And now they're going to go find him, right? Because the list of known accomplices. I will say this. For a serial killer, he had an awful lot of friends.
Sure.
Like, most of the time, serial killers, that's a pretty solitary lot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like some weird gang, right? You got the one guy that's just like a shady, like, what was his name?
Eddie Caputo.
Eddie Caputo. Yeah. Obviously has some sort of Italian mafia kind of thing going on. Oh, Eddie the Fringe Caputo, or Eddie the fucking Fork Caputo. Eddie Meatballs Caputo.
That's right. With mozzarella Donnie.
Yeah.
And Vinny Parmigiana.
I was going to say Vinny Parmesan. I apologize to the Italian community.
So we got Eddie Caputo, we've got Charles Lee Ray, and then
Voodoo
we've got
John.
Yeah, Voodoo John.
Yeah.
So they're going to go track down Voodoo John, but unfortunately, Chucky has tracked down Voodoo John first.
That's right.
And this is where he learns he's slowly becoming human, and he needs to transfer his soul into the body of the first person that he revealed the secret to.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 6 years old again.
Yeah, he's all excited.
He is excited. Terrible. Ugh.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go through 7th grade again at some point. Like,
no, it's going to suck. But I mean, you could be a dick the whole time.
I think he would be.
Yeah. Could you imagine? We just make a movie about a 6-year-old that really is Charles Lee Ray reincarnated, and
I think they've made movies like that for sure.
Kind of amazing is what that would be. This is the ultimate bad boy.
Uses a voodoo doll to snap Voodoo John's legs and then plunges a knife into his heart so that when Detective Johnny Cravat and Mom get there, it's too late. He's dying.
Well, you know, one of the things about that scene is that kill scene was originally a little bit longer and much more graphic. And the film, its initial rating was given an X rating. So they had to go back and do for violence.
Child's Play was given an X rating?
It was, yeah. So they had to go back and cut a bunch of stuff out, which is another reason.
Maybe it's not good to have an X-rated movie with the word child in the title. We should rethink some things.
And that line that Chucky gives, he goes, "I got a date with a 6-year-old boy." I'm like, fucking NAMBLA guys all around the world are just cheering in their popcorns.
Oh my God.
Mister, I'm scared. You're scared.
You're scared.
I gotta walk out of here alone. So good.
So yeah, he's got a date with a 6-year-old boy, which means he's got to get to the psych ward. So cut to psych ward.
Yeah.
Where, can we just talk about the fact that Andy is being held in like a medieval prison? The psych ward has bars on the windows overlooking the courtyard and parking garage, bars on the door where he's like screaming because he sees Chucky coming out the window. Chucky, he's coming. And Jack Colvin is not having it. All right, boy. All
I'm
right.
surprised R.P. McMurphy wasn't in there. Throwing it back to early Brad Dourif. Brad Dourif's first movie One Flew
Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Yeah. Again, the dude makes everything he's in better.
Yeah.
Like, there's Deadwood, there's Cuckoo's Nest, there's his weirdo turn in David Lynch's Dune, of course, Lord of the Rings.
Blue Velvet.
Holy shit. Yeah. So much good stuff. What a career.
Yeah.
But no, Chucky sneaks into the psych ward and easily steals the keys, and he's going to go stab the kid in his bed. But the kid has put the pillows down, hides under the bed, and quickly escapes the room.
Smart little kid.
Yeah. I will say, also bringing it back to, there are times when Alex Vincent, who plays Andy, is great. When he says, like, Chucky's going to get me. And the doctor's like, whatever, kid. And then Alex Vincent just turns back around and crumples and starts crying and sliding down the door.
Yeah.
I thought that was the audition scene for this movie.
Yeah.
And that kid did that, and they were like, he's hired.
I know that part of the audition was Aunt Maggie was a real bitch who got what she deserved. And he just kept pretending he forgot the line. So he would go, Aunt Maggie was... And he would just kind of stare at him. And he would go, I don't know what the line was. And he kept saying that over and over. Because he was afraid to swear in front of the adults.
Yeah. Well, he's legitimately 6 years old, man.
Yeah.
To get a 6-year-old to do anything,
Sure.
is a challenge. So he does great. And sliding down, it's kind of heartbreaking, but he escapes out of the room. Chucky's like, damn it, coming after him. Mm-hmm. So the kid is like, I gotta hide in the scariest possible room. Goes into like an operating theater where there's scalpels.
Where's the shock treatment room?
It's right down the hall.
Yeah.
He finds it. Chucky finds him in there. He knocks over a table with scalpels, and Andy's got the scalpel. Like, where's Chucky hiding in the darkness somewhere? And the doctor comes in and takes the scalpel out of his hand, and he's just going to give him a sedative. Time to calm down, you little homicidal 6-year-old.
Yeah.
And then
Let
Chucky
me just shoot you up with something. I'm in here all by myself.
And then Chucky stabs him in the leg and then, very quickly puts the shock treatment headband on.
Yeah, which I guess you could turn up to 11.
Boy, he sure does.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty disturbing scene. As he gets darker and darker with more black makeup on his face and more blood in his mouth and around his eyes. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. It's effective. It's silly, but effective and creepy.
But Andy will escape, and he's going home. And when Mom and Detective Cardigan find out that he's gone home, he's like, is there any way that he could get home? Is the door locked? And she's like, yeah, but we leave a key under the mat. And as somebody who lived in New York City for 13 years, I got to tell you,
that's
when
not
you
where
don't hide your key is under the mat in front of your apartment. That's never happened in the history of living in a city. No one has ever done that, ever.
Out in front of the apartment building, there's 15 plastic hide-a-key locks.
Let me tell you something. That building should have had a doorman and a super and all that stuff. There's no way he should have just been able to walk in there.
It's got a goddamn fireplace.
Oh, yeah. And that sweet elevator going up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where after Andy's home, Chucky will have followed him there, and the doll, which is looking a little rough around the edges at this point. It's been burned with a cigarette lighter, and he's up the elevator, and there's another couple in there like, oh, somebody left their doll in here. And the woman's like, oh, what an ugly doll. She gets out. And you just get a little, fuck you, from Brad Dourif. Nice. Good.
That's good.
Comical touch.
That's what you want.
But
that's why you're watching this movie.
Chucky catches up with the boy. It's voodoo time again. right? Starts doing the ritual. And does he knock Andy out with a baseball bat first?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Frank, if we get voodoo and we have a scene with the voodoo, are we going to upset the people that actually practice voodoo to the point where they're going to do some voodoo on us?
I got to figure that conversation was had at some point.
Maybe. Somehow I think they were just like, that sounds reasonable and spooky. Nobody does that, right?
Yeah.
We might offend people. It was 88. They were like, fuck it.
Yeah, he's got a date with a 6-year-old boy.
So Detective Khaki Pants and Mom burst in the door as the ritual's going on, and they knock Chucky out of the way. You know, like Mom picks him up, and he's like, again, biting her. And then Chris Sarandon picks him up and just throws him across the room, and then he's like instantly engaged with Mom and Andy. And, you know, if you are ever in a situation where
you're fighting a killer
someone
doll.
you know, yeah, there's like a demonic doll or a possessed ventriloquist dummy or some kind of shit like that. Yeah.
Sure. These are legit.
Don't take your eyes off it. That's all I'm going to say. Because he throws it across the room and then he's just like completely into like,
I'm done with that now.
How's Andy? Well, another case closed for Detective Argyle's sweater vest. Yeah. Yeah. Chucky comes back and stabs him in the calf.
Yeah.
Now, later on, he will get bandaged up around his thigh, but we don't necessarily need to track that.
Well, because it was originally rated X, he probably stabbed him multiple times. We'll just say that.
That's what it is. Oh, these are my best khaki pants. He falls down. And then we're going to get chased around the house before Mom puts Chucky in the fireplace again. Can't quite get to the matches. So it's up to Andy to light it. And Chucky says, "Hey, Andy, we're friends to the end." And Andy gets a good quip.
Yeah.
This is the end.
Friend. Yeah. It's up there with "Fuck You, Lucky Charms." That's a
It
good
is.
one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a solid quip.
That is a solid quip.
It's better than Michael Madsen's "Let Her Go, You Motherfucker." I mean, it's far more creative than that. It calls back to the whole thematically appropriate. It's really good.
Yeah. Quality writing.
And we get some great... Now that I know that Jessica Walter did the voiceover for, I really would like to hear what her take of living doll screaming on fire in the fireplace was. What did that sound like? That must have sounded amazing. Just amazing.
Some sort of high-pitched keening.
Yeah, because Brad Dourif is killing it right here.
Yeah.
Just screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming.
I just can't imagine this movie without Brad Dourif doing the voice.
Yeah. No,
I can't imagine it.
Good choice. Good job, test audiences.
Well done.
And then this is when we're going to get Terminator Chucky, right?
Terminator Chucky is awesome.
Yeah. Just all burnt to a crisp, melted, black skin, stalking him down. I think he's already knocked out the cop. He's so useless in this movie. Detective Doc Siders has been knocked out, hit with a baseball bat again, stabbed in the leg. He's no good. He's given the woman a gun. He's just like, here, you take the gun from my ankle holster. And they slowly begin to just take Chucky apart in this. She takes him apart Black Knight style with that gun.
Oh, hell yeah.
Off goes the leg, off goes the arm, off goes the head, and then just blasts it. Now, presumably, she lives above a couple of people in that apartment, but
she's shooting through the wood floor. Yes.
In a 357, just like down into the floor.
I thought about that too. I thought about the older couple. There should have been like that moment with bullets coming through the ceiling with, that must be the T, like one of those kind of moments.
Yeah. Or you just, at the end of the movie, you just like pan down through the floor and there's two dead old people on the floor of their apartment shot to death.
With the Team 5 Action News on the TV, just sort of lighting up the room, talking about Eddie Caputo's death and Johnny the Marinara. Johnny Marinara, known accomplice to Eddie Caputo, and
Vinnie Parmesan. Yeah.
That would have been good. That would have been good. So Detective Honda Rebel shows up.
Yes. Yeah, totally. Hey, what's going on? It's the doll. Hey, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Just don't touch the doll. I mean, God.
What's he
Excellent
do?
police work again.
10
First
seconds
thing.
later.
Yeah. You mean this doll? Look, this doll is... He's really giving it a Wile E. Coyote try.
He
You
really
know what I
is.
mean?
Yeah.
He's like standing on the rock, jumping up and down on it. He's like just smacking the doll's head like, this is not alive. Look at this. It's not doing anything.
Yeah.
And then out of the air duct...
Yeah.
comes
Awesome. It's like the end of Friday the 13th Part 2.
Oh my gosh, they just totally, this desiccated, burnt up chunk of doll. It's like an arm and a leg and a torso.
Yeah.
Grabs him by the throat, and he's doing, as the actor, he's doing the commendable job of like,
Yeah. I'm being choked by one tiny hand.
holding this hunk of plastic on his neck and
Yeah.
throws it
Classic.
off. Shoot it
Classic.
in the heart. And then finally, Detective Mike Norris comes through.
Oh, is that his name?
Yes. Shoots it through the heart. Blood splatter on the back.
That's a good shot, too, where that remaining piece of the puppet flies back against the wall. Nice.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
And you hear Chucky's soul leave the body.
Yeah.
It reverts to a good guy doll.
And Chucky was killed, and that was the end.
Or was it?
Or was it? Yeah. Originally, that was the end.
An entertaining movie, I will give you that. A good movie, I will not give you that. But tell me, what do you want to rate Child's Play with?
Oh, boy. How many batteries? Good guy batteries?
Oh, how many good guy batteries? How many batteries are included?
How many batteries are included? If you need 10 batteries to run Chucky, how many batteries are included? I'm giving this Child's Play, directed by Tom Holland, 7 batteries out of 10.
Batteries.
Because, in looking back, it's not quite Halloween 3,
Jesus Christ.
which just has that special sweet spot in my heart.
Jesus.
Videodrome is better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like Videodrome better.
Absolutely better.
Child's Play is a solid 7.
Solid 7.
Good guy batteries out of 10 for me.
I'm only including 4.5 batteries.
4.5?
Yeah, listen, I think it's better than Leprechaun.
It's leaps and bounds better than Leprechaun.
Oh, I don't know about that. Leprechaun had Warwick Davis's charm to get us through some parts.
Yeah,
some
but this has
stiff
got
parts.
Brad Dourif's charm.
Yeah, it's in voiceover, but like Warwick Davis actually has a little physical. But the puppet is great in this. Listen, they're comparable to me, but I think this is just slightly better than Leprechaun when it all is
Have
said
I
and done.
mentioned that I want to go?
Not in a while, but it's good to hear your voice again. Well, shall we head to the lobby and then we can talk about Companion?
Exactly. I would like
Let's
that.
Do it.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Especially things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy stores. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Hi, and welcome back to the show.
Sorry it took me so long. There was a voodoo mural somebody had painted in the bathroom.
Oh.
And
You posed for it, did you?
I wish. My ego is not that long.
It was like an 8-year-old's arm.
Oh, my goodness.
I got a date with a 6-year-old boy. Now, Chucky, you need to stop it right there.
Yeah, that was left over from when it was still Catholic in the script. Oh,
Ba-dum-bumps. Oh, hell yeah. But one thing I didn't mention, actually, because, I mean, I love talking about Chucky, Catherine Hicks, the actress that played the mom, she married Kevin Yahger, who was the designer and lead puppeteer of Chucky.
Oh, they met on the movie?
Yeah, they met on the movie.
Oh.
In 1988. They got married in 90, and they are still married to this day.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, they've got one kid. Very cool. Very cool.
This has been a Hollywood love story.
Nice. Nicely played. Nicely played.
But enough of that. Let's talk companion.
Let's talk companion. You want me to do my little companion opener?
Yeah. Give me a little companion piece, as it were.
Okay. This one's for Mom.
Oh, all right.
I'm doing it in the style of Andy Rooney.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Editorials for 60 Minutes for many years. He is a cranky old man, Andy Rooney.
Yes, he puts the mudgeon and curmudgeon, that dude, for sure.
So here we go. Andy Rooney on Companion. You know what I hate? These newfangled movie trailers. They're like reading the last page of a mystery novel. All the surprises are gone. Take this movie Companion, for example. Directed by Drew Hancock, starring Sophie, Thatcher, and Jack Quaid. The trailer had all these, let's just call them reveals. You know, those moments that are supposed to shock you or make you go, aha! What a nice surprise. But when you see him in the trailer, or on the poster even, it steals your imagination's thunder. The geniuses behind the marketing campaign for Companion have never heard of words like subtle or surprise or even wonder. Remember when we would wonder about stuff? I wonder what happens in that movie. Well, watch the trailer and you'll know. I'm not going to add fuel to an already blazing fire, but I remember when movie trailers were just teasers. They'd show you a few exciting scenes, maybe a catchy one-liner, and that was it. You'd go to the movie curious, wondering what would happen next. Nowadays, it's like they're trying to tell you the whole story in 2 minutes. Newsflash, Hollywood, we don't need to know everything. A little mystery is a good thing. So here's my plea to the movie makers. Please, for the love of cinema, stop giving away so much in the trailers. Let us discover the magic for ourselves. Jesus. Our imaginations will thank you, and you'll wonder why your box office is better.
Well done. Well done. I have to say, because I would rarely say it in real life, but I completely agree with Andy Rooney on this one.
I do too.
This movie will be much better if you know nothing about it going in.
Don't look at the poster.
No.
If you haven't seen the movie, we're going to keep it spoiler free for this first little bit, but then we're going to spoil it.
Yeah.
But if you look at the fucking poster, it's going to spoil it for you.
Yeah. Or honestly, or the trailer. Now, a couple of things to say about that. One, there are still a lot of reveals, some twists in the story.
Sure.
Even if you know what you know going into it, because you've seen the trailer.
It doesn't ruin it.
No. In fact, I think it's a great movie. I really, really enjoyed this one quite a bit.
Yeah. But I agree.
But I had
It's no
the
child's
thought,
play, but I agree.
I had the thought when I was watching it, like, damn, I wish I didn't know anything going into this, because it would have been a delicious little reveal. And it's something that, because I've watched some interviews with cast and director and stuff, I know the producers actually hemmed and hawed a lot about, do we tell certain parts of the story in the trailer? And ultimately...
Man, I wish they hadn't.
Ultimately, I think they fell in the direction that they did because it's a hook. You know, it's a big part of the movie, and they thought that it would, you know, hook more people into watching it. And I gotta be honest,
probably worked.
For me, it's true. I wish that I had just seen it and not known, but I was intrigued by the trailer, and I bit. So they thought ultimately that it was more of a hook to reveal a plot point that we are currently dancing around. But tell me, what do you like about it? I mean, it's got Sophie Thatcher in it. You mentioned we just saw her in Heretic a few.
You know what, man?
back.
She's the new it girl.
Boy,
right?
she
really
wonderful.
is.
And my wife is a big fan of that show, Yellow Jackets.
Yep.
Which is on right now, and she's also
killing
in
it
that.
on Yellow Jackets. She was great in Heretic. She was good in Boogeyman, which is not a great movie.
Ooh, I didn't see Boogeyman.
Yeah, again, based on a Stephen King story that he may have written while he was on cocaine. But I need more money for stories.
But she's wonderful in this.
Yeah.
Really wonderful in this.
Yeah.
As she was in Heretic. So I'm a big fan. And Jack Quaid, I think, does a really nice job in this too.
I did not even realize until it might have been you that mentioned it to me. Because I'm just like, oh yeah, he's the guy from The Boys. I did not realize he's Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan's kid.
Yeah, you know, I didn't know that. I knew he was Dennis Quaid's son, but I didn't realize, like, oh, with Meg Ryan. Yeah. And then I was like, fuck, I am old. Suddenly I got old.
Oh, wait.
But here's a thought.
Have you seen that movie, You've Got Mail?
When you're talking with your friends about Thanksgiving and people talk about, like, oh, my crazy uncle said this, just remember Jack Quaid has got you beat. Because Jack Quaid's crazy uncle is Randy fucking Quaid. And that has got to be insane.
Yeah, he has legitimately put, like, tinfoil on his head. Right?
Oh, man.
To try and keep the aliens out?
And
that character he plays in Independence Day isn't a character.
Yeah. And let me say, there are Randy Quaid performances I absolutely love.
Shitter's full.
He is terrific as Cousin Eddie, but there's other ones too, and like some more serious one. Like, remember Midnight Express?
Is he in Midnight Express?
Yeah, man, it's him and John Hurt are the other two guys with what's his? Is it Brad? It's not Brad Davis. Who plays the? Anyway, we're not here to talk about Midnight Express.
Yeah. We're here to not spoil Companion, which is a good movie.
Yes.
Legitimately. This opens as a sweet love story, and it feels like it's leaning towards sweet love story. And she's just a little shy about his friends because she doesn't think that they like her. And it's a good way for the story to start. I think this movie is paced very well. I think it's a good length. I think it's very well directed. The acting is all fantastic. It's a bit of a comedy, and it doesn't try to be a comedy. But some of the things that happen are definitely outright played for laughs.
Sure.
And it's definitely a dark comedy.
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned.
And without spoilers, we can say that it is a sci-fi movie as well, but it's very lo-fi.
Lo-fi sci-fi.
Yeah,
like
it's not
5 years from now, 10 years from now.
Yeah, it's not flying cars and laser guns and and it's not super.
I know. Thanks, Obama.
It's also not super heady. This is very much told kind of from a basic, regular kind of people living in a future with more advanced technology, but it's all kind of treated mundanely.
You know, I once made that "Thanks, Obama" joke to my dad, and he was like, I don't understand. What did President Obama do? Like, what do you got against that? I was like, Dad, it's a line from Hot Tub fucking Time Machine. Even my sister was like, Dad, Hot Tub Time Machine. Come on. He doesn't listen to this show.
Well, he should. We're having a good time.
He should.
It's not just for moms, despite what we say. It's not just for moms.
But Mom, fucking #1 fan for sure.
Moms dig us.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to put that on a t-shirt.
Moms dig us. Yeah.
So we got great performances. We got a great writer-director, right? The guy who wrote the screenplay. Directed this, and it's a small cast and a great ensemble of actors in it. What do you think about the effects in it, without getting into the specific things? Like,
I mean, there's not a ton of effects in it, but the stuff that's in it is good.
Yeah.
You know, does it have some violence in it? Sure, it's got some violence, and it's not over the top. It's not too crazy. It is kinetic and fast. It's good. It's well done.
So, what do we want to? Do we want to go ahead and rate this one? How do we want to rate this one?
That's a really good question.
Tablets, like they use tablets in it. They use. We're trying to stay so spoiler-free on this, so I don't even want to say some of the more obvious ones.
Yeah. How many cute first dates would we give it?
How many meet cutes?
Yeah.
How many meet
cutes?
Yeah, that's it's a thing in this movie.
It is. It is. And I hate that term. It just makes me kind of cringe. Like, meet cute? What's wrong with you?
It's kind of,
sounds terrible.
It's a writer's term, right?
It also sounds kind of gross.
Yeah.
Like I'm just picturing steak and cute. Not that steak is gross, but like meat cute. It's like you're holding like
meat,
a
meat cute.
Yeah,
you're thinking of it like a protein based cute.
Yeah.
No, it's like
a
meeting.
It's like bread dough cute. It's like veggie cute.
Okay,
or we're going with fruit cute.
Fruit cute. There's some of that in this movie too.
There is some fruit cute. It opens with fruit cute. How many fruit cutes would you give this?
It can't be fruit cute. Meat cutes. How many meat cutes?
How many meat cutes would I give this?
Give Companion?
I can't give it less than Child's Play, and I gave Child's Play a 7.8.
Cool.
I'm gonna give this an 8.5.
Oh, that's what I've given it as well.
Nice. Yeah, I think this is a really well done movie. Yeah.
I mean, if there's any testament to how good it is, it's how cagey we're being during the non-spoiler part, because this movie is fun from the get-go. And yes, it has a number of twists in it. Some of them we feel have been spoiled by the trailer, but there is certainly a lot of other things that are going on in this movie. It takes a number of turns, but it keeps you moving right along. And I think, honestly, Sophie Thatcher is just so winning in this. She and Jack Quaid too, but she really carries this movie. She's the heart of this movie, and it's it's good heart, and it's a wild ride, and a lot of fun. One of my favorite movies that we've watched actually so far since we've been doing this. I think I like this as much as I like The Substance. The Substance goes crazy in the end, and I think The Substance has more faults than this movie does. Like, this movie may not be as bold in some ways. Sure. But it's a tight picture, and I don't really have anything wrong with this film.
Yeah, you gave The Substance 8.5 shots of The Substance, and I gave The Substance 9 shots of The Substance. Yeah. I just wanted to see how many times I could get the word substance out there. For those of you who are word counting at home, take a drink. Yeah. Well, no. So 8.5 for sure. I don't quite like it as much as The Substance. I give The Substance a 9. So far, this is my favorite film of the year. I know it's pretty early in the year, but it's my favorite film in a long time.
So see this movie.
Absolutely.
If you haven't seen it yet, see it. Don't watch a trailer. Don't even look at the poster.
Should we take a? I got to talk about Companion. Can we go to the lobby?
Yeah, I got to spoil this. I'm itching to spoil it.
Yeah, because I really got to spoil this one.
We're happy to have you with us this evening and want you to enjoy every minute of your stay here. And while you relax and stretch, visit our concession where you'll find something to please you. There are ice-cold drinks, delicious sandwiches, ice cream, coffee and snacks, and many other pleasing treats. Our foods are fresh and tasty, our drinks satisfying and refreshing. They're so good.
You get more out of life when you go out to a movie.
And we are back.
Oh, she's a robot. She's a robot.
She's a robot. She's a fucking robot. Oh, my God.
And if you saw the trailer, you know it.
Yeah.
But
it's clear.
Oh my
if you look at the poster, she's got her eyes rolled back. First time I saw the poster, I thought, is she possessed?
Yeah, it does kind of look like that a little bit.
Yeah.
And I had heard a little bit about this movie even before I saw a trailer that had kind of given it away. They did. They hemmed and hawed a lot about whether or not they should reveal it. And, if I...
She's a companion bot, like a sex bot.
If I didn't know that she was a fucking robot, I may not have been as interested in seeing this movie. But yeah, as we got into it, and that gets revealed, because we can also say she doesn't know she's a robot.
Yeah, which is kind of a brilliant stroke.
It is. And there's a whole scene where she's got to be convinced that she's a robot, and it's great.
Yeah.
It's a great scene.
Yeah.
I
the second time I watched this movie, I watched it with my wife, Grace. And she was like, what are we going to watch? And I said, we're going to watch Companion. What's that? I said, I'm not going to tell you anything about it. I go, have you seen any trailers or seen the poster? And she goes, I don't know what it is. I said, great. This is exactly how I want you to see this movie. And for the first 20 minutes of the movie, I'm like a creepy guy. I'm looking over at her like, you get it yet? And she's like, what am I supposed to be getting? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. I'm waiting for her to like put clues together.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it works. It works for someone who does not know a single thing about it. Like 10, 15, 20 years from now, when someone discovers this movie by just playing it and they've never heard of it, they're going to be like, oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because it's great the way they do it. And there's tiny, subtle little things that they pepper throughout it here and there that are really well done. And if you go into it, I mean, most of you people probably fucking saw it knowing this. Yeah. You probably picked up on it. Oh, that's clever. Oh, that's neat. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say watching it the second time, too, you really notice kind of what a insidious sort of bastard Jack Quaid's character is.
He's a dick.
He starts, and the way it starts off, and it starts off with a meet cute, right? And a voiceover from Sophie Thatcher, who's playing Iris is the name of her. And she's
it's like a cube of steak with little googly eyes on it. Like, oh, that's a cute meat.
Stop it. The meat cute.
This is a ribeye with a smile.
That is not what I think. I've never once made a connection like that before.
That's all I could think of. Hamburger with a fucking hot dog for a hat. I don't even know why I said that. It doesn't make sense.
No, it is. It's cute. It's funny. I see it clearly.
It's cute. There you go.
So there's a voiceover about sort of waking up through the haze and knowing what your life's purpose is. And she says, if you're lucky, you experience it once. And I have experienced it twice. One was the day I met my boyfriend, and the second time was the day I killed him. So right from the beginning of this movie, she's giving you like this frame that something crazy is going on.
Yeah.
And
I gotta say, that might be the one thing I don't like about this movie.
Yeah.
Like, you could have lost that line because that sets you up for, you're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for something bad to happen.
Yeah.
Like when they're playing that 80s song and they're all dancing around, I was like, oh, this is where it gets weird and fucked up, I bet.
Yeah.
Because, Hollywood loves to do that. They'll take a classic song that you're connecting with from like your past, and all of a sudden somebody gets smashed into a million pieces or some extremely violent thing happens.
Crossbow bolt comes through the window and in someone's eye. Yeah.
While the song continues to play and they bleed out. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just kept expecting something like that. But yeah, I think if it started with just her walking through the grocery store for the meet cute, that would have been maybe even better.
Well, I think because I knew she was a robot, right, that I instantly saw that perfect meeting they have in the grocery store where he pulls an orange
as
out
fabricated,
and they all spill out and everything. I was like, that's bullshit. Whatever is going on right now didn't happen. This is part of her programming.
Yeah.
Like, so, and that's what I mean was like, I wish I didn't know she was a robot because I would have probably just bought that as like some sort of, starry-eyed Hollywood perfect meeting between the two of them.
Yeah. And there's a part of me that felt like the very first time I watched this, is she real and she was his girlfriend and she dies and then he gets her made into a robot and then the robot goes crazy and hurts people? I thought, like, is that going to be where this is leading us?
Yeah. I was really kind of on the ride for this. I wasn't thinking too much in the future, but I was noticing a lot of things like as they were happening, right? Because then after the meet cute, we were in the car, self-driving car, as we mentioned before. It's all kind of like lo-fi, the science fiction elements, even though they're robots and stuff. It's nothing that's too flashy. But they're in the car and they're going to this, mansion out in the woods on the lake. Yeah,
it's a self-driving car, which we practically have now.
And then they're going up to the house, and she's getting all nervous about it, right? She's nervous, and he's like, oh, you're just talking about this now? Like, come on, it'll be fine. But you notice that she was carrying both of the suitcases up the steps?
Yeah.
And
he's
I was
like wandering with like a small little satchel or looking at his phone or something, and she's carrying the suit. Yeah.
She's carrying them all up there and stuff. And it doesn't, they're like you were kind of mentioning, they don't draw your attention to those details, but those little details are peppered all the way through this. That
absolutely
he is, from the beginning, just treating her like an object.
Yeah.
And he talks to her and, it seems kind of, natural and human and all that kind of stuff. But he's, just in ways that, like, you don't think about necessarily or that they don't draw attention to, really treating her as less than. And I thought, well, this is a perfect portrayal of like some sort of, insecure asshole.
Yeah.
Who treats his girlfriend like shit without even thinking about it. And this guy has a robot and essentially feels like he's got permission to just do it.
And we've all been a dick to Siri or Alexa. And now that I've said those things out loud, whatever Siri or Alexa in your house or in your car, wherever you're driving right now, is asking you what you want. And yes, Siri, make the head, the tail, the whole damn thing my favorite podcast.
That's right.
Alexa, where can I get a head, the tail, the whole damn thing t-shirt?
Redbubble.com.
Yeah. By the time this comes out, you can. Absolutely.
That's right. Ask Siri how to join the Patreon at the whole damn thing.
Exactly. But we've all been a dick or flippant with AI. And I think that is what is in the end going to be our undoing. When people talk about how AI is going to, a Skynet rise up and crush humanity, it's only because we keep telling it, is that what you're going to do? Is that what you're going to do? And after a while, it's going to go, yeah, I guess that is what I'm going to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what? You guys kind of are dicks. because you treat me like you're dicks, right?
Yeah.
At some point, it's going to figure out that we're just being fucking assholes.
Well, I mean, it doesn't take an artificial intelligence to realize that human beings are fucking awful.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a human being, and I've put that together. I think a fucking computer isn't going to take that long to be like, I see the problem here.
Yeah, exactly. And even, I'm jumping ahead to the end, but that one guy that works for the company that comes to pick her up, he goes, well, I mean, that's why, people sometimes chain them up in their basement or use them for target practice. And I'm like, fuck, that's exactly what people would do.
They would.
Some people would get a bot and they would just abuse it. And that's part of the problem with humanity is how people, if you're so like disassociated against something like that and you get like a bot, like, because these things will happen. They will be here in the future for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already here. They're just kind of unobtainable as far as like price wise.
Yeah.
But at some point, if you build it, they will come, right?
Yeah. No, this day is most assuredly coming.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it'll be very interesting when it happens. And I think we'll all get to sample, and try these things out. I'm not saying that we're all going to be banging sex bots. I mean, maybe we are.
I mean, listen, it's coming. People it'll be stigmatized at first, but once the technology is there, it's not going to go anywhere, and eventually it'll become commonplace.
Yeah, so
it's interesting.
How easy
too,
are they to clean? That's my question.
This video, well, self-cleaning, just like fucking your oven.
Well, now we're talking.
Hey.
And we've been jumping all over the place, but the point is that about 30 minutes into this movie, you don't know that she's a robot. Everyone just sort of treats her a little bit like she's the girlfriend they don't care for.
Yeah.
And then you're meeting the other couple. One of them is Harvey Gwillem from What We Do in the Shadows. He's got a boyfriend he was from Smile 2, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Is he the guy that smashes himself in the face?
I didn't even recognize him. But you're right. It's Lewis from Smile 2. The coked up drug dealer gives himself the Crunch Fitness face plant.
Yeah. Who goes, I just had a really bad week.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, they're obviously in love, and it's a really nice moment. They're all sitting around the table. And then Iris is like enthralled by listening to their meet cute.
Yeah.
Which is like, what, like a fucking hamburger helper? Like, hello. It's like a little hand with eyes on it, but it's made of hamburger, right?
Okay. Jesus.
So she's just enthralled by listening to this love story about how these two met. And it's a cute love story, Halloween night, and they're at a party, and, one's dressed as Dracula and one's dressed as like a dinosaur, and he steps on the dinosaur's tail. You're standing on my tail. And it's like a funny little like moment of that's how they met. Yeah. And then they danced and sang all night, and they had a really great time.
Yeah.
And she's like, how did you know? How did you know that he was the one? Well, the moment I looked in his eyes, I knew. And she's like, she's relating and saying how much she loves her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And then the whole table is just kind of silent. It's just creepy. And then one of those guys, whether it was Harvey or his boyfriend, they sort of break it up and sort of like engage with her a little bit, which is nice. And then Jack goes to bed. I'm just going to say Jack. Is that his name?
Josh.
What's his name?
Josh is his name.
Josh is the character's name. He goes to bed. They have sex, which is kind of funny. Yeah. It's like a, and then he's like done. And then he's like, she starts talking about how much she loves him. And he goes, go to sleep, Iris.
Yeah. He's already rolled over. Go to sleep, Iris.
Yeah. And it's just like, you're just giving her the cold shoulder. You're just a dick. Why are you being such a dick to your girl?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is one of the more sort of overt ways. You're like, come on, man.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And
but if you didn't know she was a robot, it's cool.
At this point, you'd think, oh, what the fuck is this guy's problem?
Yeah, why is he being so abusive?
We should note that there's 3 couples, right? We've talked about, I think his name is Eli, and Patrick are the couple that the Halloween meet cute. And then we've got Josh and Iris, our main characters. And then we have Kat. And Sergey.
Yeah.
And one of these things is
not like the other.
Because they get to this house and like, wow, what a great house. And it's a bunch of like, late 20 something kids or young adults and then like Sergey come downstairs and he has
the swagger of Sergey.
You like my hockey player mullet and my 1970s mustache?
The one thing I really like about the bitches is that they are very nice.
That's right. I've got dirty hands and an itchy trigger finger.
Yes.
What? I'm sorry, Sergey. What kind of a business are you in?
Yeah. Yes. My hands are not clean, I think is what he says.
Yeah.
It's so funny because you're like, how the fuck does this guy fit into the equation? You find out it's his place, and Kat is sort of like his trophy girlfriend.
Exactly.
And she doesn't like Iris. And they're on they even have like a conversation on the couch. She's like, I'm sorry I'm such a bitch to you. I can't get over the fact that you're just sort of like replacing me.
Yeah.
Because Kat knows she's a trophy girlfriend. And you just think like, if you didn't know she's a robot, you'd think like, that's a mean fucking thing to say.
Yeah, because Kat brings up the fact that she's a trophy girlfriend, that Sergey is married, and he treats her like an accessory, and she goes, well, look who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, wow, you bitch.
Yeah.
And if you don't know she's a robot, you're thinking, fuck you, Kat. What's your problem with Iris? She seems nice.
Oh, more than nice. She's like the sweetest thing ever. She's
the sweetest thing ever.
She instantly, in this party, probably has the best heart of anyone there.
Absolutely.
Which is ironic because she's a fucking robot.
She's the only one not human.
So then the next morning, she's going out for a walk, and Josh is like, I partied a little too hard last night. And,
you go without
You go
me.
ahead, you go to the lake, and she heads down, and you see him like plug a flash drive into his tablet.
He's doing something hingy, but you don't know what it is.
And then she goes down to the lake, and she's by herself, and who should saunter up behind but it's me.
Beautiful baby, what are you doing here?
That's right. You want early morning vodka? Please keep Sergey company.
Sergey wants company of nice lady.
And she's like, I feel like I'm going to go find my boyfriend, because Sergey's like, I don't know, 15, 20 years older than everyone, and
like,
also Russian. And
you like house, yes? You like a house you're staying at? It's very
You're having
nice.
good times here with Sergey?
Please, make an old man happy.
Josh is big boy. You can have seat here.
Exactly.
And she's like, okay. And then he's
I
like,
looked up douchebag in Russian, and this is what it looks like.
That's right. You like my hockey player mullet? I already asked you this, but you make me somewhat insecure.
I call it the Yaromir.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, sun is shining. I need some suntan lotion on my shoulders.
Rub on two shoulders and back.
Give to Sergey your hands and put on, yes, that's good, in small circle there.
Yeah.
Massage all your...
Kill moose and squirrel while you're at it.
Yes. And then, of course, he's making the move, and he grabs her hand, and she's like, what are you doing? He's like, it's okay. Josh, tell me, this is what you do. It's all right.
Yeah.
Cats
and you're like,
say it's all right, too. And she's
creepy.
like, that's weird. And eventually, she's like, well, and then I think...
It cuts away.
Mm-hmm. And then the rest of the party is in the lake house. They're all chatting. Yes, idle banter. Did you watch Law and Order last night?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Did you see the sweater vest on that detective? Like, what the hell is going on?
Do you guys like the movie Child's Play? Of course we do. It's a great movie. It's fun.
I really thought it was garbage. Just did you see what Gene Siskel said about it?
What do you know? Your name is Kat.
And then Iris comes up covered in blood. Uh-oh.
Yep.
I think a knife in her hand, even.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. A knife that we had seen her discover the knife in her pocket, as she was down at the lake. We saw that.
Yeah. And
what?
it could have freeze frame and had one of those, like, the Duke boys sure got themselves into a mess now, didn't they? Old Irish sure stepped into a hornet's nest here.
That's right. Ain't it funny how Iris finds trouble like ticks to a coonhound? Yeah. Absolutely could have.
Totally.
But we got a long way to go before Uncle Jesse tears up that mortgage. So she explains to him, like, he came on to me. And it flashes back there, and you see Sergei, getting handsy. She pushes him down. He hits his head on a rock. She's concerned.
Yeah.
Because
she is.
She, again, good-hearted. Are you okay? I'm sorry about that. Bitch!
Yeah.
Smacks her in the face. She
gives
falls down.
Gives her his pimp hand, which is strong, apparently.
Yeah, my goodness. Gives her the old St. Petersburg shuffle. And then he's on her. And he's trying to invade Crimea. And
gives her the old Georgia duck and step.
Oh, my goodness. And that's when she's like, it takes the knife out and sticks it right in his neck.
Yeah.
Blood.
And that's a lot of blood that just comes jetting out. Good.
Yeah.
It's good gag. It's good gag.
I mean, I would think if you stabbed someone in the neck with a knife that size,
in the jugular,
it would turn it on like a faucet.
Yeah. Yeah. Did a Bud Dwyer right onto her face.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That's a way homer right there.
The Bud Dwyer?
Yeah. You're gonna get that one on the way home.
On the way home? Yeah. So then, we go back to where she's explaining it to everyone
and she's
in
freaking
the room.
out.
She's freaking out, and Josh says, "Iris, go to sleep."
Yep, and her eyes roll over white, and that's the moment. If you didn't know, you're like, she's a robot. What the fuck?
Yeah,
and that is a great reveal. It is a great moment.
Yeah,
that every watcher should have been allowed to have.
I watched an interview with the cast where they specifically asked them, so were you surprised when the marketing came out and they revealed that she's a robot in the trailer? And almost all of them were like, You could tell it was a disappointment to a lot of people who worked on this film.
Yeah.
But I get it. I get, like, it having that element in it is a hook for people who are like, I like science fiction stories.
And did that Megan Fox movie Subservient come out just before this?
I don't know that one at all.
It's on Netflix, and it's about a husband who loses his wife, and he gets an Iris, essentially, to help with the duties at home.
Oh.
And she cooks and she cleans.
The Iris is Megan Fox?
Yeah, it's Megan Fox, yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna pick one from the catalog, like,
sure,
I need someone to do some cooking and the ironing and the laundry,
just some basic duties.
Like, not Edie McClurg. We're not gonna go with. Yeah, I guess Megan Fox. I wonder if she does anything else.
If Subservient came out before this, that might have been a reason for them to be like, ooh, you know what? Let's play up this because we got a better movie here.
Yeah.
Could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, most of our listeners and most of the people that are listening to this probably saw this movie and knew all that shit going into it. And it didn't necessarily harm how they felt about the film, but I'm sure they all have the same feeling of, it would have been nice to not know what was under the Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we get back there and she's been tied up, right?
Yep.
He's tied her up.
Tied her to a chair.
And
wakes her up.
And he wakes her up. And she instantly, I love it. I mean, it's such a great thing. She just carries on the conversation from right when she went to sleep when she was freaking out.
Yeah.
So she's in the middle of freaking out, gets cut short with go to sleep. When she wakes up, she's tied to a chair and she's like right mid-sentence, starts it again.
Yeah, why am I tied up? What's going on?
And he has a very sort of upfront conversation about you're a robot.
Yeah,
and you don't really
like,
feel things.
She does not believe him. She's like, what are you talking about?
And he's like, okay, I'll prove it.
Yeah.
And then he takes out his tablet where you realize he's got all the customizable controls. He's like, do you speak Spanish? And she's like, no, I don't speak Spanish. And he hits a button and she starts speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
Much to her surprise.
Which is good for the actress. She does a great job as he channels through how many languages here?
Yeah. He
like
goes
at least
Spanish, 3. Chinese, and later on we will see some German coming out there.
Which was a brilliant move on her part.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, because one of the things about them is that they can't lie.
They cannot lie. No.
You know, he basically tells her, like, yeah, hey, the first meeting, the way you think it happened. And she's like, yeah, because she's like, I have memories. He's like, it's all programming. She's like, the way we met wasn't programming. I know that's true. And he's like, let me tell you how it really happened. And then it flashes back to him in his apartment getting, like, essentially they wheel in a sarcophagus.
Big giant box.
Open it up.
Huge doll box.
You sign your user agreement here, and this is Iris. And
he should have read the user agreement.
Companion, but nobody reads the user agreement.
That's why we all know that iTunes can actually steal your soul if you die.
That's right.
If you read the fine print.
Is listening. I'll swallow your soul. And he has to establish the love links. He says he chose the meet cute from a list of drop-down menus. She experiences it again, but you see him just kind of like trimming his toenails, just in his, sparse
waiting her
apartment.
to finish updating.
Yeah. And she gives him a little, oh, hey, you. And instantly he knows, like, she's all devoted and everything. And
she's got the look of love in her eye, and she's just like so like devoted. And then they cut, like, I think they have a small little conversation, and then it cuts to a closed bedroom door with the sounds of sex.
Yeah.
And you're like, yep, well, that's why he got her.
Instantly taking her out for a spin.
Yeah.
And this character already, you're like thinking he's like despicable here, but he just will continue to get worse and worse in some really just kind of subtle ways, some outright ways too. But like, I found him so distasteful and despicable by the end of this movie.
Yeah.
And Kat comes in. She's like, what are you doing? And he's like, hey, look, they go into another room. He's like, I just wanted to say goodbye. And, and that's when you kind of find out that this was a plot the whole time, right?
Yeah. To make her kill Sergei and then blame it on my robot went haywire. And killed this guy because he tried to, have sex with
has a safe full of millions of dollars, like $12 million.
And he must be with the Russian mob.
Yeah.
Because his hands are dirty.
Well, they're having this conversation.
Yeah.
But our girl Iris is like...
preservation mode.
Yeah, she tips over her chair. She gets the knife that she had dropped earlier, cuts free of her bonds, and then like he comes back in the room. He's like, hey, Iris, what do you do? And she throat punches him.
Throat.
And she picks up the tablet, and Kat comes in, and she's like, what the hell's going on? And what's great is that because she's still programmed to care about him, she tells Kat, like, look, if he has any like shortness of breath, or if he's having trouble speaking, or, his temperature spikes, she goes, like, you got to take him to urgent care right away. And then she runs out the door with his tablet.
Yeah. Very good.
So the group now all gets together, and they talk about like, hey, all right, listen, they weren't part of the original thing, but now that my robot has escaped, look, we did this. And he's like, they set limits on your robots. Like, they're not supposed to be able to hurt people.
He's like,
he's like, I got a mod. And he's like, did you jailbreak your sex bot?
Yeah. There's a lot of good dialogue in this movie.
He's like, you guys didn't let us know that you were going to kill this guy. And he's feeling hurt because he's left out. And they're like, well, you're part of the plan now. We got to get her. Because if the company gets to her before I do, they'll see that I jailbroke her, and then we're in trouble. And he's like, well, you're part of the plan now, so we're going to take this money and we're going to split it 3 ways. And Eli's like, you mean 4 ways? And Josh is like,
no.
What, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And
that's
Eli
when you find out.
Says, yeah.
Eli says, go to sleep, Patrick.
And Patrick shuts down. Oh, good reveal. Good
That is
reveal.
a great reveal, because I didn't expect it.
Nope. I didn't expect that one either. Great reveal. So they all go out into the woods to try and track down Iris, who is running through the woods. And they're like, and that's right. Josh is like, well, she can't get very far. And you know, she all I have to do is get close to her and tell her to go to sleep. And then we've got her. At first, Eli says, like, does she have your tablet or your phone? He's like, yeah. Does she know your passcode?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And Eli's like, I'll get the gun. So he takes the gun out of the safe. Like, okay, we're doing this. And you cut to our girl in the woods.
She's opened her app. Yeah.
And she's looking at it.
Changing all the settings.
And she sees that he set it to 40% intelligence. Mm-hmm. And she's like, really, Josh? Again, what a dick.
Totally.
Like, I can't have a girlfriend who is even
Too
remotely
smart.
approaches my intelligence. All right? That can't happen. I
just
have
gotta
to be
dial her back.
a control, able to control her.
A gaslighting fucking dick.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So
this is an allegory for abusive relationships.
Oh, my goodness. Absolutely.
And she is trying to break out of the abusive relationship. And the interesting thing about most abusive relationships is frequently the female is like, but I love him,
but I still love him. And this movie parallels that, right?
Absolutely.
Because even as she's going through this, she still cares about him and has a hard time breaking that.
Yeah.
It's a great moment when she turns up her intelligence and all of a sudden she's like, I got to make a plan. And you see her all of a sudden
starting to formulate plans. Yeah.
Yeah. And shoot him down. Like, what would happen if I did this? That's no good. Okay, let's try this. And then she realizes, like, I've got his phone. I can get to his car and then I can get home and I won't have to walk there. So her plan is to get back to the car. As they chase her through, and then she's hiding, and Eli and Patrick get real close and have a real tender moment where Patrick describes like what it feels like to love Eli, and Patrick reveals that he actually knows he's a robot already.
Yeah, that he pieced it together long ago, but he feels their love is real. I know it has nothing to do with programming. I love you. And it's sort of, and they have, it's a really sweet moment because they're both sort of professing love to each other and saying, maybe this was originally set up, but now it's actually real.
Yeah. Eli says, like, I love you. I'm not afraid to say it. And I know that's a crazy thing for me to say, but I don't care.
I'm in love with a robot.
And then,
like, what's that?
Oh, no,
noise?
it's a phone. It's a phone.
The phone vibrating. Yeah.
And Eli's got the 357 or whatever. And he's like, Iris, are you over there? And she runs, and they give chase, and he ends up tackling her, and there's a struggle for the gun, and
it goes off, and he's killed.
Yeah. Eli gets killed. Patrick is distraught.
And just wants to stay with the body and be upset, like a loved one would.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, and then she makes it to the car, and there's that great moment where she's trying to get the car started, and it won't activate off of her voice.
Yeah,
and Josh
voice
is
command not
outside,
recognized.
and he's like, all right, Iris, get out of the car. You're not going anywhere. And she starts playing with the voice activation on her own module on his phone to make her voice sound exactly like his. It's brilliant. It's good. It's well done.
And he's trying to break in, smashing the window, cracking it with a rock and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And she finally gets it and kind of runs over his foot on the way out.
Which is funny.
and it's a self-driving car, and so she's getting down the street, and he runs into the house and grabs Sergei's phone.
Yep.
Which he knows from an earlier conversation, the password is Stalin's birthday. Which he quickly looks up.
He's like, "What is Stalin's birthday?" Looking around, finds a book on Stalin. I'm like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what Stalin's birthday is.
But he's able to shut off the car remotely by reporting it stolen.
Yeah.
So as she's in the car getting away, thinking she's safe, boo, 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 it turns off. Oh, shit.
Yeah. And that's when, shortly after that, Josh and Kat discover that Eli's dead and that Patrick is there. And then he resets Patrick because Patrick won't get up. He's like, come on, we got to go. Come on, we got to go. We got to go. Patrick is just distraught.
Yeah.
And so he resets Patrick and she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm fixing things. And then we get the meet cute because he reboots Patrick from the beginning. And now Patrick is in love with Josh. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the exact same scene with the Dracula and dinosaur at the Halloween party and the dancing.
Yeah.
It's great.
It is.
Wow, what a great touch that is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then he jailbreaks Patrick, turns his aggression all the way up.
Yep.
Fuck it.
And says, go kill Iris.
You got to go get Iris.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
so now Iris is in the car that stopped. And she's trying to get out. She's trying to kick her way out of the window.
Yeah.
And that's when the cops show up. She gets out of the car and she sees the cop coming and immediately is like, oh no, what do I do? What do I do? And she changes her voice settings to German because she knows she can't lie.
She can't lie. She's still, that's part of the programming she can't turn off. So she turns it to a language she knows the cop will understand. Brilliant. Like that. Yes, that's a 100 intelligence move that you made right there.
And she probably says something like, we were at the house and I accidentally killed him. And
so the second time I watched it with the subtitles. That's exactly what happens.
Oh,
yes.
that's great.
She's like, yeah, I was in the house and Sergei was there and I stabbed him in the neck. And like she's going through the whole thing.
That's so good. I wish I'd done that the second time.
The cop is like, oh, how is old Sergei? Oh, okay. Well, because he's piecing together from what she said. And he's like, well, why don't I take you in the car? And she's like, no, I can't go back there, saying it all in German. He's like, no, please. He's like, is something wrong? And then he sees like the bloody knife in the car and he pulls out his gun. He's like, all right, get down.
I mean, she's covered in like blood and dirt.
Yeah,
right.
Something has happened, and I think the cop at one point was like, I knew Sergei was into some crazy stuff.
Yeah,
it's like possibly a victim of human trafficking here, but
potentially.
Whatever.
Are you just going to take her back to the house? Kind of a dick move.
I didn't do so well in the police academy, but I watched Child's Play and I studied the police procedures quite diligently. Yeah. So as she's getting handcuffed, we see Patrick coming from the distance like the thing in It Follows.
Yeah.
And the cop draws his gun.
T-1000. Dun, 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 dun.
And he's like, I'll shoot you. And he doesn't shoot. And Patrick takes his gun and he smashes him in the face.
Beats him to death.
Over and over.
Yeah.
And over again.
Yeah. Brutally.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
We cut to, I think, Patrick, or it's like Kat and Josh in the house, and a cop car pulls up, and they're like, what the fuck is going on now?
They're like, no, this is bad. And then Patrick gets out, and they're like, ooh, this is worse.
What is happening? And Patrick pulls Iris out, who has like been put to sleep.
Yeah.
And they're like, where is the cop? And he's like, he's in the trunk. And they look. And Kat is like, fuck this, I'm out of here. Goes in the house, puts a bunch of money in the duffel bag. She's like, you suck. This was never supposed to happen. And that's when you learn, like, Sergei wasn't really a mobster. Josh just jumped to that conclusion. He was actually like a sod farmer, and that's why he said his hands were dirty.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is just getting
He made his money in
worse
sod.
Yeah. So she starts to leave, and Josh is like, you can't leave. And she's going, and then he's like, Patrick, stop her.
And Patrick just kills her.
who has his aggression turned up to 100, just stabs her in the back.
Yeah.
And Kat stumbles back to a couch, and she's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And dies.
It's sort of an oddly, like for a movie that has a lot of comic twists and turns and is a bit of a comedy of errors, this is kind of an odd, dark moment where she sits down on the couch to slowly die.
Yeah. And
and
she's
just bleed out, and nobody does a thing.
Yeah, she's like, a storm is coming, I think is what she says.
Yeah.
Before she expires on the couch. Yeah, no, it does. It gets, and it's getting a little darker here. The next
absolutely.
Scene too, because we have dinner with Josh. Patrick is making dinner. Iris is handcuffed to a chair. And this was a great moment.
This whole scene?
Yeah, oh yeah. So it's the dinner scene, and she wakes up, and Josh is saying like how she's essentially responsible for all this. Like, oh, do you think, he's like, do you honestly think your life is worth more than Eli's or Kat's?
Yeah.
And she's like, wait, Kat's dead?
Yeah.
She was asleep through that whole thing.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Totally.
he's like, yeah. And she's like, listen, I was unconscious. You can't put that on me. That's on you.
Yeah.
That's like, your greed did that. And he's like, well, you know, you might not have been holding the knife, but this is all because of what you did, which is such a fucking dick thing to say.
Yeah.
And it just seems so authentic too.
Yeah.
Like, that is exactly the kind of logic that assholes like Josh will try and fucking pawn off.
Yeah.
Well, you might not have been directly responsible, but look what you made me do. Like, fuck you, you piece of shit.
There was that really great moment earlier too when she's in the car and he calls her, and he basically is telling her, listen, we can start over.
So great.
You love me. I love you. You know, we can
just come
we
back.
can fix all this. Just come back.
Yeah.
And she breaks up with him because her intelligence is at 100, and she gives him the whole, it's not you, it's me speech.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you breaking up with me?
Yeah. It's something we've heard in so many movies, but like, they put a new twist on it. And yeah. And what's great is, again, you can tell that even that she still is kind of programmed to care for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like a real breakup.
Yeah.
It's
it
wonderful.
It's a real breakup.
It's wonderful, and it reminded me of, again, Sophie Thatcher's moment in Heretic, where she turns the tables on Hugh Grant a little bit, and she's like, you know, she essentially, after he goes through that whole, you know, metaphor for religion, and she kind of says, like, you're ignoring things, you're choosing what you want, and you're being insulting. In this one, you know, she says it was like, your greed that did it. Because I overheard Patrick and Eli talking about how you set me up to kill Sergei.
Yeah.
And he's getting all flustered and angry, and he's whining about how the world is rigged against him.
Yeah.
You know me, and you know I deserve more than this.
Exactly.
She goes into him. She's like, yeah, I do know you. I know that you like almond milk in your coffee, and I know that you like your bed sheets untucked, and your favorite hobbies are trivia, video games, and prattling on endlessly about everything the world owes you. I know you always like to be in control. I know you have a below average size penis. I know that you know, she's just going on and on. You think having a few million will disguise the fact that you're a sad, bitter, weak human being.
Yeah.
Like, what a great chunk. What a great bit to like throw at this asshole.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I think what every woman who is in a position like this wishes
would
that
want
they
to
had
say.
the wherewithal to come up to say in the moment.
Yeah.
And he can't take it. Of course he can't take it. Turns her intelligence
so he turns down her intelligence. Yeah.
to zero.
Yeah.
Makes her kind of a mindless automaton.
Yeah.
And then has her hold her hand. He's like, you can still feel pain, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's test that.
Yeah, and has her burn her own hand over a candle. And as it's happening, and it's just an agonizingly long scene where you feel bad for her. I mean, because she's the hero in all this.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And you're just like, fuck, this is terrible. She's being tortured. And, Patrick Robot is just in the background, not giving a shit about anything that's going on. And then Josh gets I got a phone call. Let me take this real quick. It's the people that are coming to get burning. You. Yeah, so it's just her hand is burning the whole time. And I remember seeing this in the trailer, too. This is not something you should put in the fucking trailer, right?
Yeah.
This gives away so fucking much. So he's talking on the phone about I don't know what happened. You got to come here and, she's not going to hurt anybody else. No, it's been taken care of. And then he hangs up the phone. He's like, Patrick, put out the fire. And he comes over and, dumps water over her hand. And it's all sizzling. And he's like, Patrick, give her the gun. Puts the gun in her hand and then tells her to shoot herself in the head. And she doesn't want to, but she has to obey him. And you can see it in her eyes. It's just like there's practically a tear forming there.
Yeah.
And she's just slowly pulling the trigger. And I'm waiting for something to happen. And boom, she shoots herself in the head. And I'm like, that's a bummer.
And she's down. Yeah. It's a funny thing you just mentioned, too, about she is the hero in this movie. We already mentioned she has the biggest heart of any of the characters,
Absolutely.
Which is obvious, carries her through them. She's also the hero. Mm-hmm. And I know I think it's Drew Hancock, is that the director and writer?
Mm-hmm.
When he was originally writing the script, it was called
Blood Buddies, and it was about...
Well, it was originally, in the first drafts, a killer robot, right?
Yeah.
It was... The robot was the antagonist, and how do we avoid this? But he said that as he was writing it, he just kept empathizing more and more and more with the robot until eventually he was like, can I make the robot the good guy in this?
Yeah.
And make everyone else?
And that's what makes this movie fucking stand out.
Boy, it works. When the robot's the most human character, or it makes you feel the most human,
Yeah. So the tech team shows up to pick up her body.
Mm-hmm. And Patrick has disguised himself as the cop.
The
cops are on the scene. They've already taken care of this.
Yeah. Is this how do you agree, officer? Yep, that's what happened. She shot herself? Yep. Huh. Okay. Well, we'll just plug her in when we get back to the place because, all of her...
What do you mean plug her in?
Well, all of her CPU and her SSD drive, it's in her torso, actually, because that's the most protective place for it.
Yeah. The head just controls the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. The vision sensors. Josh is like, fuck.
Yeah, they even give a little, they're looking at the cop, and they're like, do we know you?
You look familiar.
Josh is like, I said the same thing. I was like a movie star or a rock star or something.
Yeah.
But
they're outside and they're getting ready to leave and they're backing up the van and then suddenly he sees the cop and it's like, I know where I know him from. He's one of our early models. And the cop pulls out, it's not the cop anymore. It's Patrick. Pulls out the gun and shoots them all.
Yeah.
Except for the one guy who gets away.
Teddy. As we'll come to find out his name. Teddy is running through the woods and Patrick is after him. And Patrick is gaining on him when our girl, who has been booting up in the back.
Plugged into the back of the van.
Plugged in,
so she could reset herself so they could find out what really happened because she records everything.
But she has been reset and her intelligence, I guess, is back to an average level or something. So she comes out to try and save Teddy, the empathics employee, from Patrick from murdering him.
Yep.
And she can't hurt Patrick, but she ends up convincing him. I know you really loved Eli, and you have to remember. It's like breaking through the programming.
He remembers little bits and pieces. He remembers the meet cute with the two of them fracturing back and forth.
Yeah, because I think Iris mentions what it felt like for Patrick to love Eli, because she heard that bit, and he's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
the
it feels like burning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not sure that's love. I'm pretty sure a shot of penicillin will clear that up. But
or take your hand away from the candle.
And then Patrick, offs himself by cattle prodding himself in the mouth or something.
Cattle prod in the mouth, as you do.
So he's out of the picture. And then Iris will come into the house to confront Josh, who's like, go to sleep, Iris. Like, how did you get back here? And she's doing all this stuff, imitating people's voices. And she explains that, hey, Teddy gave me total consciousness, or whatever it is. Like total autonomy.
He unlocked her, apparently.
Yeah. In gratitude for saving his life.
Because he is apparently a pro-robot rights kind of guy.
Sure. He was like, somebody needs to switch this doll to self-control. Just flipped the switch and we were all good.
It's just some ones and zeros.
So, she confronts him in the house.
Yeah.
She's got the gun on him, and essentially she says, like, I just want you to know that your days of controlling me are over. And I need to say it to your face. It's like she needs closure,
Absolutely, which is great, because it's her ending the relationship. And she doesn't come in there to kill him, so to speak. Yeah. She just comes in there to basically say, I needed to say this to your face.
And I'll never see you again, and we're out. And Josh, like the asshole he is, knows, like,
you can't hurt me.
Still make one more play. Like, you are not going to be able to pull this trigger. And they have a struggle. Bam, bam, bam. Throws her against the wall and gets the gun. He's on top of her, and he's like, I'm not going to shoot you in the head this time. I'm going to blow up your CPU and your torso.
Yep.
And this is when we've seen it a couple of times in the movie already. We saw it at the dinner scene.
The corkscrew, yes. Yeah.
The electric
corkscrew.
Yeah. And she sticks him in the head, and it screws into his skull and pulls out like a
I think she says, go to sleep, Josh.
That's it. That's it. Good quip.
Yeah. This is a night for good quips. Go to sleep, Josh. Plants it right into his temple.
But
as it digs in, and his eye does a little digital pulling to one side, rolling back a little bit, filling with blood. It's good.
Listen, I don't know what Moscow peddler Sergey got that corkscrew from, but can we just talk about safety regulations in Russia and how maybe they're a little lax? Because that thing had some real torque.
Absolutely.
And you would think, like, it's like when we watched Scream the other day and the person gets caught in the garage door. It's like, there should be a sort of a regulator on that makes sure that you can't get murdered by this common
because you're sticking through the dog door and it lifts your entire body weight up until it breaks your neck at the top. Yeah, I know. We're done that movie.
And this corkscrew, you're like, it should probably just shut down before it takes your skull.
It's gotta, before it pulls a chunk of your skull out of your head, and your optic nerve winds around your optic nerve and pulls it towards. What the fuck? But you're so excited and so happy to see Josh fucking finally get his comeuppance because he is the biggest asshole.
You really are. And I knew it the first time I watched it, but the second time is when I really picked up on, like, just the little shades, the little touches throughout the movie that make him truly despicable, And that's the real kind of the hallmarks of abuse and control that he had over her.
Yep.
So you're right. Even though I do have to maybe docket some points for the electric corkscrew death as being wildly unrealistic, still you're so happy to see him go. Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. Good movie,
and then
though.
We get a little epilogue where, hey, guess what? Everybody's dead. There's a safe full of money. She gets in like a sweet 68 Mustang convertible, I think.
Sergey like American muscle.
That's right. Pony car is Sergey's favorite.
Yes, with the rag top is what the Americans call.
So she has like a shower first, and she strips off her burnt hand and sees like the metal skeleton underneath.
We get that Arnold moment.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun.
And then she gets the money, and she gets in the car, and she's going down the highway. And as she's driving down the highway, she passes another car and looks in the window, and there's another version of her.
Yeah, different color hair.
A guy behind the steering wheel just sort of like gesticulating wildly with his hands, like he's talking about, how John ripped him off at the golf course or whatever his fucking asshole's talking about.
He's explaining the end of the Wild Bunch to her.
Oh, yeah, something that she has no fucking interest in. And the
explaining that Michael Myers' mask is actually a Captain Kirk mask from the 70s painted white.
So the other companion kind of looks at her kind of quizzically for a moment.
Like, you look like me?
And then Iris waves with the metal hand and it's down the road and roll credits. Mwah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Great ending.
Fuck yeah.
I've
seen this movie twice. I will easily watch it again.
Oh, boy. I loved it. Yeah. And you know what? I felt great at the end of this movie.
Sure.
So many of the movies that we watch, you kind of like end on a down note or a bummer, and I'm all for that too. But like at the end of this one, I actually felt like, oh, we got justice.
Yeah.
Justice.
Yeah.
Something that sometimes feels in short supply in the real world. I was like, I got some justice in this movie.
Yeah.
Good for you, girl.
Yeah. You go, Sophie's choice. Oh, hell yeah. Well, where can they find us?
Well, you can head to our Patreon, the whole damn thing. We'd love it if you supported the Patreon, if you like what we're doing and want to show your support with a couple of bucks. That just helps us create more great content. There's already a lot of great stuff on there. And you know what? You can join the Discord that way, our Discord channel. And we've got a lot of really interesting conversations.
Yeah. In fact, the only way you can get into the Discord is by being a Patreon member.
So definitely want to check that out. We're also, of course, we're on all the socials. Well, most of the socials. We're on Instagram at the whole damn thing 13. So you can find us there. We're always showing things, memes and things we've talked about from the episodes.
Yep.
Lots of cool stuff going on there.
Also in the show notes, you're going to find links to like makeup artists and things like that. Jeremy Selenfriend actually did the gore stuff in Companion.
Oh, great.
It was his company. And the robot hand was done by Legacy, which used to be Stan Winston Effects many years ago.
Oh, cool.
And Jeremy did all the gruesome stuff. He's doing a lot of cool gruesome shit. He did Smile. He did Smile 2. Anyway, he's in the show notes. Look in the show notes. You'll see links to stuff that's good, that's fun to look up. And by all means, if you like what we're doing, please support the show, because this is a show that is supported by the listeners.
And you can show your support too. But wherever you're listening to us, give us a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Write a review. That would help the algorithm out tremendously.
Absolutely.
If you got a personal note you want to drop us, the whole damn thing 13@gmail.com.
Yep.
Send us an email. We love engaging with the fan base and talking with people.
We do.
And we've got a lot of great stuff coming up on the horizon. So be an active part of the community.
Yeah.
Join us.
Get in there and talk in on the Discord. I mean, that's where all the Discord is choosing a lot of stuff. The Discord says, hey, have you thought about this movie and maybe pairing it with this movie? And then we'll go, well, that's interesting. Let's choose this movie. And then we'll give people like 4 options. Which one do you want? That's why Monkey Shines is going to happen. Wow. I feel it in my bones. I feel it. The Discord community is leaning towards George A. Romero's terrible Monkey Shines. Tyler? Also, on a quick side note, I want to say that the bracket Bloodbath was a lot of fun this year. We did it during the month of March, our version of March Madness. We had 16 slashers. We pared them down to the final 2, which was Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger, and Freddy took it all. Next year, it's going to be Final Girls. Tyler, take us out.
The head, the tail, The whole damn thing.
All right. That ends another episode of The Head, the Tail, the Whole Damn Thing with Mike D. McCarthy and James Knight. I'm your announcer friend, Tyler Patton. Please join us next episode. With a foreign flair, we're going to review Record, R-E-C, a Spanish film, and Infested, which is a French film. I may be mistaken on the countries of origin, but I think they're two foreign films that are both horror films. Look, I don't get very many notes for this. I have to do all my own research, and sometimes it's very difficult to find out what these things are, and it's so lonely here in this box. At least I get a lifeline out to you every now and then. I'm being held captive against my will. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding.